They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, Laker family and NBA world? It's your boy DTLF back with another free agency special, guys. Very excited to bring it to you guys because we got up to the minute news, reports, and free agent signings, guys. Over the next hour or so, I will be here live with you guys, and I will be coming back as soon as something major breaks, even when I get off. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Good to see you, Kimmy Goat. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. Yes, there's already rumors and news coming down the pipeline. All right, there's already rumors and news coming down the pipeline. I got Shams here on deck. All right, his tweets. I got Dan Wilkie, who works for The Athletic, new Lakers reporter, here on deck. His tweets, and Brett Siegel. Those are going to be my top three sources to give us up-to-date news. But we have something, and it's coming in from Chris Haynes, all right, and per Sam Amico. Okay? DeAndre Ayton is expected to sign with the Lakers once he clears waivers. All right, Chris Haynes was on NBA TV, and he said that this is a strong possibility, and all signs are pointing in that direction. When asked if there was another team that potentially could snag him away, he said he'd rather not even go down that path because it's pretty much all said and done already. All right, so like we mentioned, DeAndre Ayton wouldn't have requested a buyout unless he had a team in mind. Gave up about $10 million. We have more than that. We have $14 million. All right. By the way, the new cap was just released and is exactly what we predicted. All right. The salary cap has been set for the 2025-2026 NBA season, and it is $154 million a year. And then the first apron will be $195 million, followed by the second apron will be $207 million. So the mid-level exception is $14,104,000. Okay. But I'm feeling good, guys. A lot of stuff going to happen. I'm going to break down the rumors before the actual reports that are about to come down. In about 8 minutes, we're going to start getting, again, reports are saying there's already a bunch of deals that have been struck upon. And they just haven't announced them because the free agency is about to officially start in 8 minutes. So very excited to give you guys all of that good stuff, man. But hopefully you guys are doing good. What's up, Tasia? He said, finally a center. Yes, DeAndre Ayton would be perfect for the Lakers once it officially happens. Right now, it's all hearsay. Okay, I'll believe it when it's done. But based on everything I'm hearing from my own source, based on everything I'm hearing from Sam Amick, from Chris Haynes, everybody is pretty much verbally already agreed upon. Okay, maybe we'll get more details once free agency officially commences. But as of right now, he is expected, again, if you're just tuning in, DeAndre Ayton is expected to sign with the Lakers. Now, the detail of the contract or any of that is not yet given. Could the Lakers potentially leave since we have $14 million for the mid-level exception? Could we pay him his $10 million that he's going to be worth? Because, again, under the CBA, whatever pay cut you could, that's how you took. That's how much, how much buyout money you took. That's how much the other team has to pay you. So Lakers essentially, in this case, would just have to pay a little over $10 million and could have DeAndre Ayton for the year at least, right? So that would be huge for the Lakers moving forward, especially because it allows us flexibility. If that's the case, remember, he doesn't clear waivers till Wednesday, right? Tasia, to answer your question, most likely we did, unfortunately. There's a horrible rumor out there going, just a really horrible rumor on Rob Pelinka dropping the ball on that. But at the same time, I would like to say that this could be a blessing in disguise. As much as I love DFS, and you can never have enough of those 3-and-D wings. We were looking for one. We finally get one. Now we lose them, potentially. DeAndre Ayton is much more of a necessity. And we're also, apparently, according to reports, we might meet with Capella, with Brook Lopez, and maybe those guys will be good backup options. Who knows? But again, nothing's official till it is official. I'm going to give you guys a couple more news and reports that I'm hearing right now coming down the pipeline. We talked about DeAndre Ayton potentially signing with the Lakers once he clears waivers. Mike Brown has emerged as the front runner to be the Knicks' next head coach. Mike Brown, very solid head coach for Cleveland, solid for the Kings, and now he might have a crack at the New York Knicks. What do you guys think of that? Right? Very curious on that front right there. What you guys think of Mike Brown? Apparently, the Sacramento Kings are really interested in Russell Westbrook, and so are the Knicks. Right? Also, The Miami Heat are a potential landing destination for John Collins. All right, apparently the Jazz are still looking to move on from that contract, right? All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Tara said, couldn't have been there, but I chose to be here. Dan is the man. Thank you so much, sis. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for everything, your friendship, your kindness, and those awesome, phenomenal words. You could have really chose to be anywhere, but you chose to be here amongst the greatest Laker community, the best fans. You guys are what makes this channel so awesome. So I'm glad to have you guys here, and it is my honor and my pleasure to give you guys up-to-the-date news as we hear it here live. Again, I have Shams, Dan Wokey, and Brett Siegel are going to be my top main 3 sources, plus my source on the side just in case he texts me anything. But those are the main 3 right there, right? But like I was saying, Mike Brown will have a second meeting with the New York Knicks, right? So that is definitely interesting. Also, right, 3 hours ago, we caught wind that Jordan Clarkson's finalizing a contract buyout with the Utah Jazz, sources tell ESPN. Now, Clarkson will target contending teams with his new home. Guys, last year we could have used Jordan Clarkson, but as of right now, we don't know what the makeup of this team is going to be, right? We don't know what the makeup of this team is going to be. So therefore, you know what I mean? Therefore, we don't know if he's going to be a good fit. Like, if we get Clarkson, what do we do with Gabe Vincent? Right? What happens with him? Right? Like, I'm confused. We don't want to have too many ball handling guards. We want 1 or 2 maybe off the bench, but the rest, I want them to be defenders. You know, that's what I want. And you're funny. You're freaking funny. Let's see. Goodwin to Clarkson. You're up there, Ange. You're top 4 sources for sure. You're top 4. Goodwin to Clarkson. We already have Goodwin. We opted into the team option. We kept him for I think it was $2.1 million. We kept him. Very bargainable chip right there. You could either trade that expiring contract or you can hold on to him. I like Goodwin. Jordan Goodwin played a very solid season. Unfortunately, he did not play in the postseason, so that was disappointing in itself, right? But again, we'll be refreshing the timelines, guys. I can't wait. Apparently, the floodgates are waiting with news over the next 3 minutes that is going to come down. Woo, it is going to be great. But for those of you asking, yes, the salary cap was just released, and it is the exact same thing that they thought it was going to be, right? 100, what they say, 187.9 million is the tax level for the NBA season. So, yeah, pretty much around where they thought, right? You can go all the way up to 207 if you go over the second apron, for sure. Let's see here. It has also been reported from 3 different rival teams that have linked the Lakers to DeAnthony Melton. So DeAnthony Melton, a possibility, could be somewhat of a defensive perimeter replacement for losing DFS. Personally, me, I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel about this, but I'm kind of sick of undersized guards. And I don't mean undersized. 6'3" is pretty good for, you know, the old school guard. But nowadays, most point guards are 6'5" and up, right? At least the really, really successful defensive ones. And even though I like DeAnthony Melton's 3-point shooting ability and defense, I would much prefer if we got rid of Gabe Vincent before we consider another 6'3" and under guard. You know what I mean? That's the only problem I have with this potential signing is that how many 6'3" and under guards are we going to have? We already have Bronny. That's 1. Gabe Vincent, that's 2. And this would be 3. That's too many 6'3" and under guards. We need some 6'5" guys out here, man. We need some 6'5" guys or at least focus on different positions, guys. You know, whatever the case may be, I think, you know, that is not going to be the replacement for a 6'8" DFS. Solid player, sure, I'll give you that. I give you solid player, but I don't give you replacement at all. And for those reporting that that's what we're looking for replacement, Rob Pelinka would be making a huge and grave mistake. If that's the case, might as well give the rookie some PT, right? Might as well give him some PT and let's see what he can do, right? If that's the case, right? Now, we did get some talk about LeBron James being supportive of the Lakers on Luka Doncic's timeline. No trade or extension has been discussed. Regardless of whatever happens there with LeBron James, it does feel like this is his final season as a Laker, guys. Now, obviously, you know, for LeBron, you know, they come out here, they put pressure. The Lakers they're going to have to make moves, not just for LeBron. The pressure is on for Luka Doncic as well, right? Let's see here. So yeah, the Kings are interested in Russell Westbrook. So That cat has 9 lives because apparently the Knicks are also one of the few destinations that are interested in Westbrook. Where do you guys think he would land better? Where do you guys think he would fit better as far as that goes? Because Russell Westbrook, man, whew, I tell you, man, he's interesting as far as he had a much better playoff than I thought he would have. But he still had his little mistakes and stuff. All right. Looks like it's official, guys. Free agency has officially commenced, guys. I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and start off with a clap out over here. Let's start off free agency, baby. It is time, Rob Pelinka, to pick up your phone and do your dirt, man. It is time. And again, take everything with a grain of salt because remember, if we're saving most of that cap for DeAndre Ayton, which most likely we will have a handshake agreement with pretty soon here, we're gonna have limited moves. Now there is reports. All right, I don't know how we can how serious we can take this guy, Jake Weinbach, but he said that if the Lakers lose on Dorian Finney-Smith in free agency, expect the front office to be active in the trade market for a potential replacement. He mentions Jeremy Grant, John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and Herb Jones. Love Herb Jones and DeAndre Hunter. John Collins and Jeremy Grant, not so much, at least for what the price points are for those guys in return. All right, so I'll say that. That's how I feel about as far as that goes. But losing out on DFS does hurt a little bit. It does sting. However, again, we get that big man in DeAndre. It makes everything so much better, right? It makes some of that sting just kind of like dissipate a little bit. And again, DFS, let's be honest, he wasn't very impactful in the postseason, right? But again, free agency has officially commenced. We have just crossed the timeline. I'm expecting reports any second now. As soon as I get them, you guys get them for sure. You guys get him for sure. Herb Jones would be phenomenal, wouldn't he? Herb Jones would be ideal. What do you guys think? Herb Jones? Is that who we should target if we do target another player in the market? Right, assuming we get this guy. What's up? What's up, man? How you doing? The only news I have is that it looks like we are angling towards signing DeAndre Ayton when he clears waivers. It looks like there's mutual interest there, and it's likely what's going to happen as soon as he's able to clear waivers. But for now, again, Sam Amick and Chris Haynes reporting on that and saying that it's likely a done deal. I reported earlier that it was likely a done deal, right? My source confirming earlier that it was likely a done deal, barring any, last minute change of heart or anything like that. But the Lakers were heavily interested in Brook Lopez and Clint Capella, and a couple of other names like Chris Paul. And it looks like Sins are pivoting. They're pivoting. I don't know if they're still interested in those guys or not. I haven't heard back from my source on that. But I will tell you that it seems like they're full court pressing DeAndre Ayton, and it seems like he's willing and able. He said, "We LA, we all about herbs." I like that. That's a bar right there, bro. That is a bar right there. But yeah, officially 3:00, and we don't have a single thing yet, man. I'm expecting big news. A little rumor here for you guys: the Warriors are targeting Al Horford in free agency. Okay, so the Warriors love those small ball centers that can shoot threes. That's what they want. That's what they want. So he would fit in nicely there. He's a veteran. They wouldn't expect too much from him, but he's a solid veteran here. And again, the fact that Shams hasn't tweeted anything yet, when it's officially free agency, guys, here we go. Come on. Come on, Shams. What you got for us, Shams? Go ahead and refresh my timeline. Because, yeah, Shams is real quiet for it to officially be free agency. See, I miss Woj sometimes in a sense that as soon as free agency would hit, bam, it almost felt like they were racing. Now that there's not competition for Shams, seems like he takes more of a sweet time. Don't you guys feel that way? It takes more of a sweet time. But right now, we should have reports coming down left and right. And something's holding it up because we don't have a single tweet right now of breaking news, anything. So waiting on that. Another rumor we have for Luke Kennard, the Rockets, Pistons, Pacers, Magic, Nuggets, Flippers, and Knicks are all expected to show interest in Luke Kennard. So one of the premier sharpshooters in the league is going to be garnering plenty of interest for sure. Hey, Dan, is DFS going to the Rockets shirt thing? Just tuned in. They're going to have a meeting with him. I'm not sure if they'll be able to close right away or whatnot, but there's a chance. If they offer him, the max amount that they can in a multi-year deal to give him job security, then that'll be great. From what I'm hearing, the Lakers want to keep their cap flexibility for next year, right? When LeBron is a free agent and most likely will leave if he doesn't retire or get traded. So that's what I've been hearing for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of rumors again pertaining to that, but I do believe DFS will leave. I don't know for who. It would be a shocker and a pleasant surprise if the Lakers re-sign him. But yeah, I think DFS leaves, and because of that, we're able to potentially land a DeAndre Ayton, maybe a Clint Capella, maybe somebody else to back him up. I don't know. But we only have limited roster spots. I think two or three maximum. So don't expect too many deals going down here, but I expect to hear something. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you, 521. He said, what someone need to tell me is why Connect can't get burned, but the Lakers need shooting. JJ is tripping. That's a great point. I can't even argue that. That's one thing I didn't understand, especially after he dropped that 40-point game in the regular season, right? When he went crazy. Looked like that night he was going to go 50. We thought a star was born, and he should have been, but we never let him have his wings. We clipped his wings before he could even take off, and that was the unfortunate thing. But, I hope that Dalton makes some improvements on a defensive end. I hope he works on his conditioning and stuff like that. And, and then we'll go from there. But Dalton definitely deserves some PT. So did Jordan Goodwin. None of those guys got any burn in the playoffs, and that is, my goodness, that is unfortunate. Hey, SF. All right, minor news here, nothing major, but the Utah Jazz are guaranteeing Svi Mikhailu's contract. Former Laker, former drafted Laker, Svi Mikhailu, happy to see him having a guaranteed contract in the league. It's harder to have guaranteed money in this league, especially when you're a role player, for surely, right? So good, happy for him. But again, nothing major. Something's holding up all the news. Did we have a breaking news trade or something that Shams is holding back to report on? I don't know, but it says here the Houston Rockets are signing veteran Jeff Green and Aaron Holiday to one-year deals at a veteran's minimum, sources tell The Athletic. So again, we're getting minor deals here. Nothing major yet, which is surprising because usually as soon as we cross the timeline, something crazy happens, but nothing yet. Just minor re-signings and stuff like that as far as we are concerned, man. But I appreciate you, 521. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're 110% correct. Dalton needs playing time, right? He proved to be lottery level talent, even though he was a 17th pick. I would have took him over at least 12 of the guys in the draft. Not 12. I would have took him at least top 12 in the draft for sure if you redraft. Looking back, and he had his flashes of brilliance. The one thing he needs to work on is lateral quickness and his defense for sure. He needs to put on some strength because you don't want him getting bullied. He does have good explosion and athleticism. It should be able to work in his favor, fam, for sure. DFS wants years on his contract. Exactly. That might be one of the reasons they couldn't strike a deal with the Lakers. But I've been hearing other things on the side. Dan, what do you think about Anthony Irwin saying Rob was shitting on DFS? I usually don't believe everything that man reports, but he might be onto something there. For DFS just to want to get up and leave when he's such good friends with Luka, it makes you wonder if something really did happen there. It makes you wonder, right? She said, my heart is racing. Oh, my goodness. You know what? Our heart might be racing for a couple of days because the main move we're going to make might already be done, and that's DeAndre Ayton for sure. D-Free said, league starting to crack down on those instant reports out of free agency a couple of years ago because it makes it obvious that teams were tampering. Probably told Shams to be slow today. My God, man, that is frustrating. Why the league got to ruin it for us, man? We're trying to have a good time and break news to the good people, and the league want to make it boring. Come on now. Let's do it, y'all. Let's do it. It's time. We're here. We're going to be here for at least an hour, and again, I will be hopping on and off online all day today, so stay tuned for that. But, yeah, nothing down the pipeline is weird to me. I'm so not used to it. We're so used to breaking news, this, breaking news, that. All right, so we do have some news here. Chris Paul plans to decide between the Suns and the Clippers per Chris Haynes. All right. So Chris Paul making yet another mistake in his career. That man just won't learn. All right. Suns or Clippers? Where careers go to die. Both places are a junkyard right now as we speak. And that is hilarious. Back to the Clippers would be funny. Alongside James Harden would be hysterical. Come on now. Don't make the same mistake, Chris Paul. He said, didn't get burned because defense and lack of plays and IQ. Dalton graded out as one of the worst defenders in the NBA last season, like bottom 5, hopefully next season is better. I think what confuses everybody is the fact that Dalton's such a sharpshooter, and so is his head coach. So why can't we find at least spot minutes for him to come in off the bench and knock down some clutch threes, right? You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest concern for people, and it's like you could have worked and developed him. He was underdeveloped last year. Hey, appreciate you. Hey, thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate the kind words, my guy. Appreciate the kind words. We don't need Shams to be slow. Facts. We're here. We're here for a full hour. Heck, I might tack in another hour on top of the 20 minutes. Hit that like button, man. Let's get to 500 likes. Let's make it happen. I'll tell you what. Every time we get to 500 likes, I'm gonna make it a marathon stream. Every time we get to 500 more, like 500 plus 500, I go another hour. So hit the like button, fam. Let's get it up there. Let's do it. He said tampering might be over. Rob, what you got for us? I don't think tampering is over. I just think like my boy said, I think they're gonna announce things a little bit slower because it makes, I guess, them look bad. I don't know. Regardless, man, come on. We need the news. All we have right now is Chris Paul decided between two scummy, bumming franchises. Come on. You can do better than that, Chris Haynes and everybody else. Come on now. CP3, that's it. All right, so we got Kings arranging meetings with Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, looking to acquire both players. Oh, my goodness. What are the Kings doing? What are the Kings doing? There's going to be fights in that locker room for sure. Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder, that'll be so intriguing. Maybe not fights. All right, I'm being sarcastic, but that'll be interesting. And maybe Russell Westbrook would actually fit in well with a franchise that doesn't have any expectations. At least they shouldn't. Not with the current roster they have, right? So yeah, all we have so far is Jalen Green and Aaron Holiday agreeing to 1-year deals. Okay, and also the Clippers and the Suns are options for Chris Paul. But he hasn't learned his lesson, man. He hadn't learned his lesson, chat. What y'all think about that? Where do you guys think is the lesser of two evils for Chris Paul? I think he might as well go to the Suns, even though they got a plethora of guards over there. Anything's better than the Clippers, y'all. CP needs to sit down somewhere. Try the big three. Damn. My man Solo chose violence today. Well, this is a good question right here. Dan, non-free agency question, but I'm curious your thoughts on Victor, Fox, and Harper. Spurs, can they make noise? I like them. Here's the thing, right? When you look at Victor, obviously he's got a couple of nice guards on his team. Fox is going to be the primary. Harper and the other guy, Castle, they kind of struggle shooting. They're like the rookie of the year was solid, but Harper, his biggest question mark is the jump shot. And so where's the floor spacing going to come from? I like the Spurs. I like their prospect. I think over the next couple of years, they're going to be tremendous. But I actually thought they would make a bigger swing to try to land a Giannis or a KD. It would have been a good fit there. But they didn't. And now that, they're still really, really young. Maybe they'll get some free agents, some veteran leadership in there, and in there will make them a little bit better. But I like the team. I don't love it yet, but I do like it. I really do. Dan, can we afford Nickeil Alexander-Walker once we sign Ayton? No, he's probably going to command the full mid-level exception for somebody, if not more. Although the market is dry, I am expecting him to get well over $10 million a year. Well, and a multi-team year deal, right? Remember this, guys. The Lakers want to keep their cap space clear for next season, all right, when LeBron comes off the books. All right, they're trying to be big players in next year's free agency. So, ideally, if you sign DeAndre Ayton and you get a solid backup big, could be Capella, could be Brook Lopez, somebody like that to back him up. And then you get a solid guard, Jordan Clarkson, Chris Paul, something. We could have a really solid, I'd say like a B-plus free agency, and then you could have an even better trade deadline because now you still have assets to trade. You still got your expiring contracts that people are going to be interested in potentially. Your Gabe Vinces of the world, your Maxi Kleber, players like that. You're going to have certain players that are going to be trade chips potentially, assuming you need to add anything like that. The Kings are also meeting with Brogdon. Thanks for the update there, Ange. Appreciate you. Well, Stan was hard on JJ. He didn't play him on those final run teams in Orlando. JJ didn't like it, but he understood. It made him better. Probably doing the same thing to Dalton Connect. I think the relationship was marked up once he got dealt, bro. I think it was hard for them to kind of just glaze over that and say, "Oh, here's some minutes for you," right? Hopefully he eventually comes out of that funk and eventually just gets his confidence back. But that's definitely confidence damaging to a young player like that, especially one who had his confidence going so highly early in the year. It just, it didn't make sense to me. I thought that was a huge mistake by JJ by benching him when he was at his hottest, at his all time, when he was shooting lights out, and he was, when due to the injuries to Rui, it was a mistake in my opinion. So also what we're hearing from Ramona Shelburne is that the Lakers aren't consulting with LeBron this year. So just like I kind of predicted, the Lakers are kind of taking the reins back from their franchise. And we get a first notification of the stream. Breaking news. Memphis Grizzlies and All-Star Jaren Jackson Jr. are expected to agree on a 5-year, $240 million maximum deal. Extension. Wow. So it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. That man just got paid. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the official big news of the offseason. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. Jaren Jackson Jr., y'all. What y'all think about that? Overpaid, underpaid? He got the max. $240 million plus over 5 years. How are we thinking about that? How are we feeling? Wow. 5-year extension. That's amazing. My guy, thank you so much for showing love, brother. He said, I don't care if Connect is a bad defender. 1, he's a rookie. 2, shooters are often bad defenders. And he'll lack. Luka is a bad defender. Well, I will say this. I agree with 2 of your points. 1, he is a rookie. He'll get better. You're right about shooters being bad defenders. But I do think he has good defensive potential. His athleticism is there. There's a couple of times I've seen him recover and get a block shot. I think with him, it's more so working on his lateral quickness and his hand-eye coordination to be able to stay in front of the ball. It's one of those things where I like him a lot, and he has a lot more potential than he's shown. But will he actually reach that potential? TBD. But I do agree with you. I think that's a cop-out excuse for not to play a rookie. To bury him at the end of the bench. We were so high on him coming out of the draft, right? It doesn't vote well for the future rookies. Although I like the rookie we drafted this year, defensive minded first. I might get him some PT, but still, man, it was disappointing. I can't even lie to you. And I don't know if you guys remember during the season, I said it would be a huge mistake because Rui was coming back from injury to bench Dalton while he's hot. It might mess with his confidence, and it did. He never shot the same the rest of the year. He had glimpses again, but it wasn't the same. So, yeah, I 110% agree with you, man. And I do appreciate, the super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Let's see here. LeBron no longer has leverage within the organization. We figured, man, once new ownership came, I was kind of reading the tea leaves, and I saw that this man, LeBron James, didn't really tweet about it. So that must have meant he didn't like it. Usually when LeBron likes something, he's very vocal about it. So he had a great relationship with Jeanie. It's understandable. Think about this. Since LeBron got to the Lakers, Magic Johnson, the man who recruited him here, quit. Jeanie Buss sold the team. It's really hard for a player to keep their trust with the organization when it continues to change. And again, it's nothing against LeBron, nothing personal. Stuff has to happen. But at the same time, I can understand if his feelings get hurt. And if he wants to go in a different direction, I understand that as well. Right? It's all understandable. Appreciate you, Kimmy Goat. Thank you. Yeah, he got paid good money, yo. $250 million. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot for a 5-year deal extension. Because I like Triple J. I like him a lot. But he does have a lot of holes and he's got a lot of weaknesses in his game. Right? He's not a great rebounder. Great defender. Okay scorer. Hit or miss with the scoring with him. Disappears sometimes in the playoffs. But okay, I like the guy. I don't know if he's worth $240 million, maybe $200 million max. But you throw the extra 40 in there. I don't know, man. That's big money right there. That's big money. He said everyone will say overpaid because contracts so bloated. Well, I wouldn't say overpaid, but it is big money. He's gonna have to live up to that because what happens if he gets hurt or something? That's a lot of money you're gonna owe one guy. You got to make sure that guy is your guy, man. And to be honest, I'm really puzzled by what Memphis is doing here. They trade away Bane. They hold on to a poor leader in Ja Morant. They extend Jaren Jackson Jr., who might still be a trade chip, but good luck trading that big-ass contract. Could happen, but good luck. And then, I don't know where they're going, what direction they're going, but that usually happens with teams like Memphis. We don't know what direction they're going in. What's up, CJ? Hey, we here, man. Free agency special live. Hit the like button. We get to 500 likes. I go an extra hour. I go for 2 hours. We get to 1,000. I go for 3 hours. So keep it locked, y'all. The news is starting to come down the pipeline. Here we go. Here we go. All right, restricted free agent Santi Aldama has agreed to a 3-year, $52 million deal to return to Memphis. Sources tell ESPN. So again, everything's coming out of Memphis so far. That's where the main news is coming out right now. Looks like we need our buddy Woj back. All right, because the news was crazy when both of those guys were competing. So yeah, so they basically Jaren Jackson Jr. signs a supermax extension, followed by Santi Aldama signing his little $50 million extension. Okay, very solid players, both of them. Both of them very solid players. Not mad at the extensions, but only time will tell if it was worth it for them. Right? Let's see. Do you think Turner is going to get this kind of a contract? You know what? From what I've been hearing, he might re-up with the Pacers. Right? They might be willing to pony up the doses. They just made the finals, But personally, with Miles Turner, again, depending, he doesn't deserve this kind of money. Neither did Jaren Jackson Jr. in some people's opinions, but at least Jaren Jackson Jr. is younger, still got a world of potential. Already won Defensive Player of the Year, even though he stole it from AD. But they're paying him twice as much as Jabari Smith Jr. from the Rockets, right? I don't know, man. That's something for sure. That is something, ladies and gentlemen, for surely. But yeah, $240 million max extension, big bucks. Gotta be happy for the young fella. I mean, I ain't never mad on anybody making dummy bread, especially if it hampers the ability to build around that team. That's a foe that we want them dumping all their money away on the current players they already had, because the current players haven't been able to elevate them anyways, and limiting a lot of their flexibility. So I'm cool with it. I'm not mad at it at all. He said drafted a good Bane replacement, want to remain competitive. In the West, they should have blew it up, man. The way they're constructed, nah. The way they're constructed, I don't believe in the Memphis Grizzlies. I haven't been believing in the Memphis Grizzlies for years when people told me, watch out for Memphis. They've been a first or second round exit max. Their leadership is poor. That's the problem. John Moran is not a leader. John Moran is confused. He thinks he's in a music video or some shit with the Glocks. Okay, because he's definitely, I'll tell you what, John Moran is not a true leader of a franchise. I wouldn't bet my money on him. But yeah, so far, oh my goodness, free agency has been extremely slow, so we got to stay on. Hit that like button, y'all. We got to stay on. Apparently only Memphis got the memo that free agency is underway. Apparently, because we only get news out of Memphis so far. Man, I'm telling you, man, Woj gonna have to unretire, come back from retirement. Let's see. Appreciate you, Kimmy Goat. Let's see what else we got here for you guys. Nothing, man. Shams is keeping all the news to himself. Shams not reporting much at all. Okay, but apparently Memphis made it clear that they intended to keep both Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama after moving Desmond Bane. Now they rattle off 2 huge deals to keep the front court contributors. That is what we got from Brett Siegel. That's it. Brad Siegel ain't giving us nothing. Let's see what Dan Wokey got. Maybe Dan has something on our Laker. Let's see. No. Nobody. They're holding out on the news, y'all. Man, I would have went on live 1 hour later if I knew this was gonna be like this. My goodness, chat. They're holding all the news to themselves. I'll take a couple questions. We can kill some time here. Hey, good morning from the Philippines, man. Shout out to the Philippines in here with us. You know what I'm saying? Die-hard Lakers fans, you love to see it. 23 minutes ago is crazy, man. He said, let's get Jake LaRavia too if we can. He'd be decent. 6'8" shooter, solid defender. He'd be decent. I wouldn't mind him, but is he a priority on my list? No. Dan, how good can we be next year? Ask me this exact same question after free agency. Matter of fact, I'll give you the watered-down version of that. All right, how good can we be next year? Assuming we get DeAndre Ayton and a solid backup big and a decent guard off the bench to run things off the bench a little bit because I don't trust Gabe Vincent anymore. We do those three things, we can be really good. We can compete for a title, assuming LeBron is healthy, Luka is healthy, definitely looking healthy and in shape right now. Assuming Austin Reeves comes back healthy, Rui, we still have a lot of depth. People forget we got Vando. We just drafted a new wing, potential 3-and-D player. We got some things going for us here. And I hope that we continue to capitalize on these things. But DeAndre Ayton would help us tremendously. He's a lob rim threat for sure. And this is just in from Brian Windhorst. He says, I think they might sign even 2 centers before this week is up, which is what I have wanted for the Lakers. It is what I've been wanting for our Lakers. But who those 2 centers are? Well, hopefully it starts with Ayton. And then anybody else I'd be okay with, as long as it's somebody with experience who can come in and man the paint off the bench. That could be Brook. Okay, I wouldn't mind Horford, even though I think he's going to Golden State. There's a couple pieces I would not mind there. A couple players that we shouldn't mind. But if we can shore up the front court and get 2 centers, then I know we're in good hands, because I know for sure Walter, new ownership group, has their hands all over this. For years, we've been begging Rob Pelinka to get some decent centers, and for years he's been ignoring our pleas. And so, this seems like we're going in a new direction, assuming we can get Ayton and a backup big. That'd be amazing. We'd start off the offseason hitting the ground running. Yes, let's do it. Also heard Nick Richards is out there on the trade market for the Suns, and the Lakers are interested. He's only worth about $5 million, 5.4 or something like that. I'm sure we can find a deal. But the fact that we might sign 2 centers off the rip means that the front office finally knows what the heck we're supposed to be doing. Right? Let's see here. Any more updates? Let's see. Wow. A high-ranking person in the NBA to Chris Haynes said free agency is dead. It's bad for the league because it's usually one of the league's biggest attractions. He said, we have to remember that this is entertainment, and we can't take that away. Wait, so free agency is dead? Nah, I don't believe it, Chris Haynes. I don't believe it, man. We got to see something here. And again, I'm not even asking for Laker news, even though that'd be welcome, because I think the biggest Laker news will definitely come from DeAndre Ayton signing, or Brook Lopez, or Clint Capella, right? But Evan Siddery is reporting that near at the top of the list for the Lakers and free agent targets is signing two starting caliber centers, including potentially Brook Lopez. So again, more reports of 2 centers. I'm all for it. Let's see. Call Me Nakomi says, I want Ayton and Nick Richards. Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome. But what about Ayton and... Because obviously Shaedon Sharpe just re-signed with the Brooklyn Nets. What about Ayton and Cormet? Would you be cool with that? Because I'd be cool with it. Not my favorite, but I'd be cool with it. Ayton and Capella would be my favorite. Or Ayton and Brook Lopez would be my favorite. 2 grade A caliber free agents from the top of the crop, I think would be exactly what the doctors ordered, right? But there will be competition for sure. This is where we got to see Rob Pelinka, the closer, right? Now, Shams did mention that there's going to be some big deals tonight, but it could be tonight. He might have meant in the nighttime, right? So again, I will be monitoring this. We get the likes, we stay on for a longer hour. We don't get the likes, we come back later when news starts to break. Regardless, there's going to be plenty of these free agent specials. And I can be more excited, guys, because we're going to cover it from end to end. It might last several days. It could last even several weeks. So we could be well into Summer League when there's still news coming down the pipeline. But this is why you guys keep your post noti bells on and stay locked in, because of the fact that we're going to have so much to break down moving forward as of right now, right? So let me see here. I want to give a major shout out to my boy from Retro Actual. If you guys haven't checked him out, he does movie reviews. He's phenomenal. If you hear my boy, drop your link. I appreciate you, man, for the graphics. He hooked it up with these wonderful wallpaper background graphics, and as well as the thumbnail for this specific video. He offered me his services, and I accepted it. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Let's take a couple questions since we're a little bit frozen out right now. Let's see. They said DeAnthony Melton will be healthy by the start of the season. He will be a good pickup. That's just the thing. I like DeAnthony Melton. 6'3". How many more 6'3" guards do we have to have? Right? If we get DeAnthony Melton, I think it is mandatory that we ship off Gabe Vincent. Mandatory. Which I'd be cool with. And that would be a great move for me, in my opinion. Hi, Dan. I have a question. What does the Lakers will have flexibility in 26 to add another superstar next to Luka? Can you explain that one for me? Well, I haven't looked at the cap situation, but apparently the Lakers do want to have flexibility for next season. You have to remember that Austin Reeves comes off the books, meaning he can be re-signed, of course. Most likely he will be re-signed if he's not traded before then. So if he's off the books, LeBron's off the books, then we have room for another max contract, right? Just simple math. Simple math. Oh, there goes Dorian Finney-Smith. Breaking news, chat. Free agent forward Dorian Finney-Smith has agreed to a $53 million deal, 4-year deal with the Houston Rockets. All right, so there goes that. DFS is now Houston Rocket. We get our first major breaking news from the NBA. DFS is gone. There's no chance of re-signing him. 4-year deal with the Houston Rockets, guys, and that is what it's going to be. Expected it. I'm not shocked. I expected it at this point, especially considering what we know and what the Lakers are targeting. So, again, not mad at it at all. So be it. I mean, DFS signing with the that's very interesting. I mean, that's a great fit for them. The Rockets are going to be a problem. They got KD over there. We saw the young, hungry squad that they had, the young, hungry squadron. And now this, the Rockets have become a powerhouse in the Western Conference. And forget about the overpay. I mean, this is just another 3-and-D wing who's going to play well. And we'll see if he shows up during the postseason. But, for those of you just tuning in, free agent forward Dorian Finney-Smith has agreed to a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Houston Rockets. Sources tell ESPN. Okay, so wow, what a great pickup for the Houston Rockets. I can't even front. Does it hurt me a little bit that he's leaving? Sure, maybe just a little bit. But if we get DeAndre Ayton and we get those free agents we want, then don't let the door hit you on the way out because we got bigger necessities. All right, more breaking news. Finally, Shams woke up, baby. Shams woke up. Hit that like button, chat. All right, free agent center Paul Reed has agreed to an $11 million deal to return to the Pistons. All right. So again, Paul Reed was one of those free agents that was intriguing. He's back with the Pistons, right, on a $11 million deal. So there you have it. We're finally starting to get some news here. Let's see what continues. What do you guys think of DFS going to the Rockets? What do you guys think of that? Why are people crying over this? You know what? I think it's on our culture at this point to complain about everything. And I don't speak for me and you specifically or any of us here in the chat. I mean for Laker fans in general. It almost feels like unless we hit a big home run, we're rarely satisfied. Now, this had to happen if we're going to get DeAndre Ayton. I want you guys to know that. It had to happen. It is a huge loss for the Lakers, obviously. Our perimeter depth takes a little bit of a hit. But overall, we still have wings. We drafted another wing. Remember what I told you guys on draft night? Somebody might be the odd man out. And maybe Rob Pelinka knew that, which is why he went out and got a wing. I was expecting us to get a center. Same thing for the center position. We didn't fill that up through the draft because maybe they knew something we didn't. DeAndre Ayton all of a sudden starts to happen and things make more sense, right? The pieces of the puzzle start formulating and things just make a lot more sense when that happens. But it was a good acquisition, man, for the Rockets. He shoots he shot a career high 41% from 3-point land, according to Shams here. And he held all-star players to 47% efficiency in the half court. He was tremendous during the regular season. He kind of disappeared a little bit at times. I wanted him to start. He got the chance to start, and then he didn't play up to par, unfortunately for him, and then he got benched for Rui. All right, Memphis Grizzlies and guard Cam Spencer have agreed to a 2-year, $4.5 million fully guaranteed contract. Okay, so there you have it. All right, another deal going down the pipeline, guys. We got them all. We got them all coming down now. Finally, it looks like the seal has been broken, and the news is coming down. Shams is working overtime now. Good for him. We're starting to miss Woj. Don't make us miss Woj, Shams. Let it all out, man. Just vent to us all the deals. We want to hear each and every single one of them. So yeah, Memphis has been very active. They're the first ones to kind of spend all their money. All right, what do you guys think of DFS going to the Houston Rockets? I think it makes them a powerhouse. You got Kevin Durant, who's not the greatest defender, but now you got DFS to back him up. Obviously, they have a tremendous young core there. They re-signed Adams. When they re-signed Adams and overpaid him, you kind of had to know something was in the works there. So we kind of figured like KD would go there. He goes there. And again, this is going to be insane. The West gets crazier. All of a sudden, in the power rankings, they move up to number 2 in my power rankings. If I had to give you guys an early one, I got the Thunder number 1, and so far I got the Rockets number 2, and all the other slots are not filled till free agency's over. But those are the top 2 teams right now going into next season. For now, if the Lakers make a major splash, maybe they move up. But for now, unranked. I would love to see it. DFS signed for $10.6 million for 5 years. Absolutely win now move for Houston. I think they're clearly the number 2 team in the West at this moment. Huge signing. I agree. Great minds think alike. We're thinking the exact same thing, D-Free. I think they're clearly the number 2 team in the West. I think this move solidifies that for sure. Removing all bias to the side is the Thunder and the Rockets, and for right now, everybody else. So do something, Lakers, and do it because we're going to need it. We're going to need all the firepower we can get versus these teams. I promise you, they're not going to be easy opponents. Biggest splash of the offseason so far, DFS. There's my guy. Hey, man, major shout out to my guy, Reto Actual. If you guys like amazing movie reviews, go check out my guy, man. Please post your link, brother. I'd love to blast it on here just for the phenomenal work you do, man. And I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I was busy all day today, so I didn't have time, and you came through like Superman, man, with the cape. So, again, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. But yeah, you know what? We got to do something, sis. It's Rob's turn. And I'm going to be patient because I know the main move that Rob has up his sleeve is DeAndre Ayton, which is I'm okay with. That basically solves our main issue that we had last season, which is no big. And DeAndre Ayton is not half as good as AD. Or is he? Or is he, Chad? Because I still remember, I still have it fresh in my memory, how he cooked Anthony Davis in the postseason when they eliminated us. And then shortly after that, unfortunately, AD got hurt. And then that was it for us. Yes, AD was cooking him too, but they were going back at it, back and forth. I think a motivated DeAndre Ayton can be really good and maybe playing next to Luka and LeBron James and Austin, if he's assuming he's still here, can revitalize and reestablish his career. Bring it back to life. Yeah, hey, that was a great pickup from Houston. I cannot even hate. DFS didn't have the best season with us, but he's still a very good player, right? And Houston did what they had to do. They came in here. If I had to grade their offseason, they get an A+. They did what they had to do. They landed the star that they were lacking in the playoffs last year, and now they landed a veteran wing defender who can space, right? Appreciate y'all. Yeah, let's get the likes up. Y'all want 2 hours? Can we go? Let me know if we get to 500 likes. We'll stay an extra hour. Okay, we're almost at the top of the hour. But regardless, I'll be coming back, and I will be here with you guys, updating you guys on everything. Rob better show up because he's going to hear it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it too, Kimmy Goat. It's awesome, isn't it? And it kind of threw on the shirt to match. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's see if we got any more news and rumors coming down the pipeline, guys. Let me go ahead and refresh it. But so far, biggest offseason acquisition, DFS. DFS for the Houston Rockets. I can't even front. And by the way, he did not even get the full non-taxpayer MLE. Like, that's crazy, right? They left some on the table. What does that mean? That means Houston is not done acquiring pieces. Looking at the Houston Rockets roster, it is insane. They got Sengun, right? They got they might still make a trade or two here and there. Obviously, Kevin Durant, DFS, Amen Thompson, who I'm a huge fan of. My God, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be an absolute freaking problem. Thunder better watch out. Let's see. Texas has no taxes. I know that's even another great benefit to being out there in Texas. All right, let's see what we got here. The Memphis Grizzlies and Cole Anthony reps at XL Sports are working towards a resolution that allows Memphis to create the necessary cap space to renegotiate and extend Jaren Jackson Jr. while giving Anthony the opportunity to find his next destination. Wow. Wow. So Cole Anthony, who they just traded for, very solid guard, might I add, is going to be an unrestricted free agent. Okay. Now let me ask you guys this, Laker Nation. Who would you guys prefer? Who would you guys prefer? Cole Anthony, Jordan Clarkson, or Chris Paul? If you can pick one of those guards to come off the bench for you, who would you guys prefer? I want to know. I want to know how Laker Nation is thinking, because I have the answer in my head, but I want to know who you guys would prefer. Laker news, again, don't hold your breath for it, because most likely it'll be DeAndre Ayton on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there. But the Lakers are heavily pursuing other bigs. We could have 2 by the end of the week. I'm hearing we might have a meeting with Brook Lopez, maybe even with Clint Capella. But let's see. I see a lot of Cole Anthony. I see some Jordan Clarkson. Cole. We're kind of split between the two. I like them both. Honestly. It's a coin flip for me. Clarkson was the 6th man of the year a couple years removed from that. I think he can still score at a high level. Remember, in the playoffs, we needed somebody to get buckets for us off the bench. That was unfortunately not Gabe Vincent. And the other guys like Dalton didn't even get PT. So I think Clarkson would fit perfectly on this roster. Cole Anthony is definitely a really good guard. Feisty, too, on a defensive end. I like him a lot, but I think I still lean more towards Jordan Clarkson, although I think Clarkson will have other teams out here inquiring for his services. Teams like the New York Knicks. They love those kind of guards, the little shifty guards who can create off the dribble, But Cole Anthony intrigues me for sure. He really does. And what does this mean? That means a lot of teams are doing buyouts, for whatever the reason, for the CBA or to create cap to sign somebody. In this case, Jaren Jackson Jr. to give him his full extension. It's like, damn, they really cut a really good role player. People were trying to sell me on that trade for Desmond Bane, telling me they got 2 good role players. Look, now they got 1 in KCP. This is why I don't understand what Memphis is doing. I don't think they got better. I think they got worse. 9 times out of 10, when you trade the best player in the trade, you get worse. Okay? You get worse. Now you don't even have the flexibility to hold on to Cole Anthony. It's crazy, man. He said, nothing will ever beat free agency 2019. Man, I miss Woj bombs. Woj bombs were crazy, huh? They were. Dan, do you think the Lakers will get someone today? I think the Lakers will be active. They'll be in meetings. I think who we already got today, but it can't be announced till Wednesday, is DeAndre Ayton. Based on everything I've heard, I think Ayton is a shoo-in to be a Laker. Barring anything changing last minute, I think we have him on lock. I won't announce it officially till it happens officially, but I think that's a done deal. As far as other deals, we're hearing that the Lakers want multiple bigs, so they have the right train of thought right now. Right? Lakers have the exact right train of thought. My apologies, guys. I'm going to have to throw on these shades because my vision starts getting blurry with the lights after an hour. So go ahead and throw this on. I feel a lot better with these shades on. That way I can go longer for you guys. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Can we go? Let me know. We get to 500. We go the extra hour. All right. We definitely want to go the extra hour. We get Ayton and Beal when they get bought out. Ayton would be phenomenal. Beal, question marks on Beal. He's always hurt. If he's healthy, off the bench couldn't hurt us, right? If he's healthy. That's a big if. Huge if. But yeah, DFS has left the Lakers. If you guys are just tuning in, DFS has picked the Houston Rockets. And, now looking to compete with the Houston Rockets. Crazy, y'all. But yeah, Shams definitely covering a lot of the Grizzlies today. See what we got here. I don't miss DFS one bit. Well, he had good moments during the regular season. He didn't have like the best. He definitely didn't play good in the playoffs. He definitely was not tremendous in the playoffs. So I can understand why people would be okay with him leaving. I would have liked to re-sign him, but not at the expense of missing out on elite big men, right? Or I wouldn't even say elite big men, but B-tier big men. Like Ayton is a B-tier. He's not an A-tier guy. A-tier guys are like Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid when he's healthy, a Jokic. Those are A-tier big men. Ayton is like a B-tier, borderline C-tier, but more on the B-tier. And those type of free agents are not available if you don't have your mid-level exception, right? We need at least 10 million of that mid-level exception to be able to get this guy in there. And remember, last year we had conversations of potentially trading for Ayton. And now we don't have to give anything outside of the mid-level exception. That did open up the cap space. That is the positive side of that, bro. Absolutely. The cap space is opened up, and that means, guess what? That means that we have a chance to go out and get not one, but maybe two big men. Die Hard. What do you think about Christian Wood coming back? Don't want him. You know, somebody who had major knee injuries and surgeries like that never come back the same. Unfortunately, man. We don't. I think the last thing the Lakers can afford is to bring back damaged goods. Heck, we don't even want to bring back part-time goods. We don't even want Jackson Hayes as a part-timer who can't stay on the floor, whether it's because of foul trouble or whatever the case may be, or him getting just absolute bullied in the paint. I don't want that guy either. I want stability in the paint. Give me Ayton and Capella to back up. Give me Ayton and Brook Lopez to back up. Give me Ayton and Horford to back up. Something like that screams stability to me. It screams front office knows what they're doing. What about Bobo? Bobo would be like a C-tier big man, all right? Average big man, but I like his potential. Still only 26. He showed flashes of brilliance, okay? He showed flashes of brilliance last season even. He's shown it throughout his career, but especially last season. All right, so if you can go and get somebody like that, sure, but it's more of a risk than getting that veteran big man that I just told you guys about. Wow, Lakers just made a splash. There you go. Minor deal. Free agent forward Jake LaRavia has agreed to a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Lakers. All right. Wow. Okay. There you have it. 6'8" shooting guard. Jake LaRavia is a Laker. There you go. There's our first splash of the offseason. I knew it would have to be a minor one because we still need to save money for Ayton. Right. But Jake LaRavia is very, very decent. Very decent player, y'all. And, again, it tends to be those. How funny was it that Trevor Lane was doing an interview and this guy was rolling up with Austin Reeves? I guess Austin Reeves was showing him around. This is how you know deals are done behind the scenes. This is how you know for a fact, man. So look, Jake LaRavia, solid guy, man. 6'8", 2-year, $12 million. That's $6 million. That's pretty solid. I think that's a mini mid-level, right? I think so. So that's pretty solid. We still have the full MLE, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to go for the big man for sure. But Jake LaRavia, guys. And, he had a very solid season for the Sacramento Kings, guys. Go ahead and bring up his stats. But Jake LaRavia is the big free agent signing so far for the Lakers. Man, very solid. Not what I expected or what I wanted, if I'm being honest. But he's a solid player, good role player, good size, 6'8". Right, you get to replenish some of what you lost with DFS as far as size goes, but good signing. Very solid signing right there with Jake LaRavia, guys, from Sacramento. You guys don't know. All right, he played for the Sacramento Kings. 6'8", 235-pound Jake LaRavia. All right, 2-year, $12 million deal. Very solid, guys. He was selected 19 overall by the Timberwolves in 2022. Still very young. All right, he was traded to Memphis and later on to the Sacramento Kings on a 3-team deal, guys. Okay, so, he played 3 NBA seasons, primarily with the Grizzlies before his brief stint with the Kings. He averages about 6.9, 3.9 rebounds, 6.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists, right? With he shoots lights out from beyond the arc, right? 42.3% three-point shooting percentage last season, right? Now, again, he's an effective three-point shooter. That is known. He's got good size, right? He can play both forward positions, offer a little bit of size and length to the Lakers front court, right? His ability to handle the ball and facilitate, he does average 3.9 assists. It's pretty decent, man. It's insane. In his last 5 games against the Lakers, this man averaged 15.6, 4.8 assists, and 3.8 rebounds, showcasing he can step up against strong competition. But again, most importantly, have you guys ever noticed that every time somebody kills the Lakers come out here and grab them? Have you guys noticed that? It's like a trend. So next time you want to look to who the Lakers are going to sign next, look no further than who's having a great game against the Lakers. He said AR, the recruiter. Jake has good size and can shoot. I feel like this might be who the Lakers deem to be the replacement to some of those DFS minutes, right? Question was, who are they going to get to replace that wing position? I guess we just had our answer right away. So the Lakers making an early move here, early splash guys, and we still have the mid-level exception to use, right? So what do you guys think? Do you guys like it, love it? Underrated pickup. I agree. It's nothing too sexy, but I do think it's an underrated pickup for sure. Dalton Connect is out. Could be if he gets traded, or this could just be the DFS replacement. Yeah, it is the Lakers. He's with the Lakers. Jake LaRavia is officially a Laker on a 2-year, $12 million deal. So not bad at all. I do wonder, I want to get a little bit more details on this, if that 2-year, if there's an option on that second year or what. That's what I want to know, right? Because that I think that's important right there. Man, we're getting a lot of listen, the internet is going to go negative. The internet is going to be negative about this, but this is crazy. This is crazy. See, it's always names. We've been talking about all these names, but a 6'8" wing is pretty decent, guys. For $6 million a year, it is a very decent contract for sure. Still young, still has a lot of potential. He said not missing DFS. That's what it is. And it's no coincidence that as soon as we lost DFS, the Lakers pivoted into signing this kid. So that's all it is. This is the DFS replacement for half the price. That's all it is, right? That is all it is. Yeah, he's solid. 6'8". So again, the thing is, for those of you that know hoops, you know this was a solid pickup. For those casuals out there that are expecting a big name, I said it. Outside of DeAndre Ayton and maybe a backup big, do not expect a big name. Jake LaRavia is about as big as it's going to get outside of Ayton. Okay. Now, the only thing is that LaRavia did miss significant time in last year due to a fractured left thumb. That's it. That might have hurt his market a little bit. He might have made more if it wasn't for that. It sidelined him for the final 10 games of the regular season and the play-in tournament, right? So obviously there's concerns about his durability and stuff like that. But again, we're going to have the right medical staff, the right training staff. We should be straight, right? We should be really straight. And he shoots, like I said, 42% from beyond the arc, right? And playing alongside LeBron and Luka, they're going to need floor spacers like that with good size, right? So it's not bad. If I had to grade this signing, I give it a B-. Again, and I'm not giving no A's until we get what we need, right? He's still only 23 years of age, right? This is one of those low-risk, high-reward moves for the Lakers, right? Again, 42.3% from beyond the arc. It does address a little some of the floor spacing that we need, right? A reliable rotation player on $6 million annual average value, right? Reported on his contract, that's not bad at all. And his production has yet to translate consistently to the NBA, obviously, right? But if he continues to improve defensively and he stays healthy, he could be a steal for our Lakers. He really could, right? But he's not a game changer yet. So I get why people will be disgruntled, right? But maybe this guy can play a similar role to what like Kyle Kuzma did for the 2020 championship team, right? Maybe, right? Maybe he can be that for us. We'll see. Let's see. Angie says Sack was upset with LaRavia. Did that video with Trevor Lane and Alston was in the car with him. Sacramento was upset about that. Man, tell him to go light the beam. Right? I told everyone was going to be pissed off when free agency started if it wasn't the Lakers. Well, it was. We made a move here. Laker fans, let me tell you something. We always expect the best, so I get it. The passion is there. I'm not mad. But at the same time, this is not the big move, guys. We're waiting for DeAndre Ayton. That's the big move, right? And of course, the movie isn't as fun when we play spoiler till the end. We kind of already know what the move is going to be. But unless there's another shocker, we turn around and sign Brook Lopez, right? We turn around and do something else. Let me see here. It says the Lakers get their top wing target with Dorian Finney-Smith off the board. So again, this is a replacement for DFS right here. Right? Young wing. And again, remember what the Lakers said. So far, Rob hasn't lied. Rob has said he wanted to get younger and more athletic from the wing position. He got the athleticism from the draft, and he got the younger from free agency. Right? Come on now. We're strengthening our bench. That's right, Ange. That's the spirit right there. That's the spirit. Exactly. We're just getting started, sis. You're right. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. Can the Lakers make a move for Sabonis? Probably not. From what I heard, they want to hold on to Sabonis Sacramento's confused. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, who they're building around. They don't know, and so I don't believe the Lakers will make a move for Sabonis. But I do believe that the Lakers will still be players down the line for other big men, right? However, I still think DeAndre Ayton is going to be our guy this year. I do. I really do. And can still make trades. Don't get it twisted. Oh yeah, we got plenty of pieces, sis. We have to make trades. We still have obviously Dalton Connect's contract, rookie contract, very tradable. We have expiring contracts with Gabe Vincent. You got Rui. You got first round picks. We still have a lot of flexibility. Laker fans, we got to be patient. We have to be patient. Dan, it's crazy how when we got Brook Lopez, he was already old, and he hasn't aged. He has aged. He has aged, but he still has a high usage rate for sure. And he played a lot of games last year, so credit to him. He takes good care of his body, but he's lanky. He's kind of slow, and but he's durable, right? Credit to him for that. But yeah, what is he, 37, 38? Not my favorite, but off the bench, again, is somebody that I would not mind at all. At all, right? But again, guys, this guy, Jake LaRavia, could be a steal for us at 23. We said that about a lot of former players. Some have become steals for us, just like Malik Monk, and some haven't, like Jackson Hayes. So this is a low-risk, high-reward move for sure. We also, we took a swig at Cam Reddish, who I like coming in, never really panned out, right? But a solid shot creator. There's questions about his defense, which is why it puzzled me a little bit with this signing. There's going to be some question marks there. But, I mean, they wanted a shooter. They wanted somebody with size, with potential, and that's what we got. That's what we got, right? We got somebody with size and potential. So credit to the Lakers for moving swiftly and getting their guy, somebody who apparently they had their sights set. And he was rolling around with Austin. We should have known it was going to be him. The signs sometimes are right there in front of us, right? The signs are sometimes right there in front of us. 200 more likes, man. We'll extend this one more hour. Keep it coming, y'all. Keep it coming, chat. We still got some more reporting to do here. Get Whitmore. That could be, I don't think it'll be a sign and trade, but I think they just signed him outright as far as the Rockets go, right? But who knows? Sometimes they rework things into the equation. So, again, is that guy good on defense? He's 6'8". He's got defensive potential. He's not known for his defense. He's known for his shooting, guys. Known for shooting. Only 23 still. Right? We want players that want to be Lakers. Absolutely. Jake LaRavia is an interesting name. That I'll say about him. Am I like head over heels over this guy? No, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, I'm super hyped. He's not the guy that I wanted. But he's definitely a guy at decent value who has potential. And at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. Well, it's not all we can ask for. We can ask for a big. But outside of a big, and we lose DFS, there you got some insurance policy. And to be honest, check this out. You got Vando, who's a lockdown defender. You got Rui, who's mostly offense, right? If you blend them both and kind of utilize them at the right times, you'll be okay at the wing position. And you got Jake LaRavia, who's a sharp shooter. So you kind of have three different things. And then you got the young kid, Thero, who we just drafted, right? Who is mainly defense, but very athletic. I think he has that over all of them. So I wish we can combine all four of them and get what we got. All right, so we got some more details here. It says 2 years, $12 million for Jake LaRavia will be slightly above the taxpayer portion. 2 years, 11.7 would be the mid-level exception. 2 years of 11.7 of the mid-level exception. That would officially hard cap the Lakers to $195 million in the first apron. Biannual is 2 years, 10.5 mil, which also hard caps. That's interesting. All right. So again, nothing is inked yet. These are all verbal agreements. Could it be that they sign certain players in different patterns? Sure. But this new CBA is very complicated, y'all. My guy said, I just dug into his numbers. He seems like a really solid team defender. Memphis was much better on both ends while he was out there, but Sacramento wasn't. But that's not a surprise. Yeah, all they do is light the beam, man. They do not light it up on the defensive end. The only thing they light up is the beam. Hey, we won't get the 8 news till Wednesday, fam. So do not expect that until Wednesday, right? But all signs are pointing to the Lakers signing DeAndre Ayton for sure. Is there a possibility that Luka can leave us next year? Possibility, yes. Probability, no. I don't think there's a chance. Luka Doncic already left a lot of money when he got traded to the Lakers. I doubt he leaves more money to become a free agent. I doubt it. We're going to offer him the max after August the 2nd. Right? He'll get penalized again for leaving in free agency. I don't think he wants to lose that much money. We're talking millions and millions of dollars here. On top of that, he likes it here. He likes it with the Lakers. He already talked about winning multiple championships. Guys, we got to read the tea leaves. He talked about winning multiple championships after we bought the team. The one person that didn't tweet seems to be the most uncertain, and that is LeBron James, right? Let's see. He's eating into Ayton's money, so that matters. Yeah, that did shock me a little bit, fam. But maybe we have a deal for less with Ayton. We'll see. We'll see. Ayton would have to be on a prove-it deal. Maybe they'll offer him money on the back end, like multi-year deal in the future, if you take this 1-year deal with us, right? He said, could get Anthony news today. It would be like sources confirmed that when DeAndre Ayton clears waivers, he plans to sign with the Lakers. Well, we kind of already got that from Chris Haynes, although it wasn't confirmed fully. But here we go. More breaking news. All right, free agent guard Trey Jones has agreed to a 3-year deal, worth $24 million to return to Chicago Bulls. Okay, so there goes Trey Jones. Solid little backup point guard right there. Nothing major. Nothing major. What about Josh Giddey instead of Ayton? No. We need a big man, fam. He said, GOATs take pay cuts. Jordan didn't take one, but also never did anything to jeopardize his team either. I don't think LeBron is fully invested into the future of this Laker team. I think he's invested into his own future. That's what it is. I don't expect him to take a pay cut. He didn't. I'm not surprised. Right? I think he's more, focused on himself, and that's fine. Yeah, 2 years, $12 million deal. Yep. But remember, the Lakers could figure out a way to work things out to make all the contracts fit. We should be all right. What's your opinion on the trade Bron to Dallas Mavs for Flag? Won't never happen. They will crucify, and I mean crucify, that GM if he makes that trade. That will never happen. And this is coming from a realistic Laker fan. I wish that was an option. It's not. You're not going to get anything major for LeBron at this point of his career for multiple reasons. One, because contract is too big. You have to give up a lot. You already have to butcher your roster just to trade him, just to trade for him. Two, LeBron's going to want to go somewhere where they still have most of their assets. I'm talking, if it's Dallas, I'm talking Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie. Those three have to remain there. We could trade around the fringes, maybe add a first-round pick or something. But yeah, that's not, you know what I mean? That's not going to. Let's be honest. It's not going to happen. Cooper Flag is not getting traded. I'm telling you, they would literally murk that guy, Nico Harris, if that happened. It won't happen. It will not. Breaking news. Free agent DeAngelo Russell has agreed to a 2-year, $13 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. All right. Sources confirm. Yeah, so, there's no surprise there. That's a rumor that we heard for the last couple of days. And DeAngelo Russell finally landing with another good team, right? I knew for a fact Brooklyn was not likely going to, re-sign the guy. He didn't fit their timeline. They're trying to rebuild. So he goes to a good situation with the Kyrie injury for him for the meantime. Who knows what that turns out to be in the future. But for now, it's a good deal for him. D'Lo and AD reunited again in Dallas. So we know relationships matter, and we know AD probably had some input in that. But they needed a floor general. They got a decent one. I'm not a fan of D'Lo anymore. His lack of focus. Maybe being traded will wake him up again. He'll play good initially, but eventually he gets too comfortable again. He starts podcasting and just becoming a team distraction, not fully investing in the defensive end. And God forbid he ever gets benched, because then he completely checks out. So no to Josh Giddey. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He said D'Lo, least surprising signing ever, made too much sense. For sure. Yes, we should be able to still sign Ayton. I'm sure the Lakers have already figured it out. If they sign Jake LaRavia and we don't get a big man, then the pitchforks are coming out. I promise. But that's not the case. I don't expect that at all. They'll figure it out. Brooke Lopez is a name that I've been hearing. Clint Capella is another name. And obviously DeAndre Ayton, the favorite name. So maybe he finally puts it together. Oof. You know how many teams have been saying that, D-Free? The Lakers said it here when we drafted him. The Nets said it over there when they traded for him. The Warriors said it when they traded for him, sign and trade. The Timberwolves with his good friend Karl Anthony Towns. Then the Lakers again when he came back here. Then the Nets again when he went over there. And now what is this? Is 17? 7-time moving? 6-time moving? Man. Crazy, man. I just, you know what? Wish him the best. Not a fan. I didn't like his attitude the last year. I could sense something was off. I knew he was going to get shipped, and he did. He did get shipped, and now he basically moving teams again. My guy, what's up, Swiss TV? He said, to me, LaRavia is an upgrade over Dorian Finney. Not defensively. Offensively, TBD, to be determined. DFS didn't hit too many of his open shots this season, or last season. Maybe Jake LaRavia will, and maybe that's what you're talking about. But defensively, he is not. He's still only 23. He has the ability to improve, but DFS was miles and miles better defensively. Luckily, though, we drafted what seems to be a very good defensive kid. We still have Vando. We still have Rui at the wing positions, right? So we should be all right. We should be okay there. That's not the position that concerns me, however. The position that concerns me is the big man position. And when we address that, I'm going to breathe a huge sigh of relief, man. Round of applause, all of that. Because I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, this is long overdue. Long overdue. But again, if I was to grade the free agent signing so far of the Lakers, which is Jake LaRavia to replace DFS, the fact that we're going to replace DFS with Jake, I'm going to give it a B-. Nothing more as of now. That could change in the future. But B- is what I'll give it. We got a breaking news rumor, or should I say report. The Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson getting traded to the Denver Nuggets is a good trade for them. That is a good trade for them. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This so far is the biggest move of the day. Oh, my goodness. That is crazy. All right? Because Cam Johnson is a very good player. I don't think people understand how good he is. He's going to the Denver Nuggets, maybe giving him a little bit of life again. And you know, that's a crazy trade. That one right there, again, the West continues to get better. The West is the best for a reason. The reason OKC is the champions because the West is the best. Right? Yet again, I don't know. Porter Jr. was not himself, man. Between all the injuries and everything, Porter Jr. was no longer playing well for the Denver Nuggets. And this is a huge trade for them. I don't think it's a lateral move. I think they got a younger player with more potential. Now, Michael Porter Jr. would be a decent fit with the Lakers, but I don't even know what his contract situation is looking like right now. But that is a good trade for the Denver Nuggets. They had to do what they had to do in order to get back on track. And we just got that breaking news right there. Once again, for those of you just tapping in right now, breaking news, y'all. The Denver Nuggets are trading Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Johnson. Okay, I think the Brooklyn Nets, they're sweetener. They just keep stockpiling draft picks. Now, you got to ask yourself, is the Giannis trade coming? You have to ask yourself. Because they're just stockpiling draft picks for what? There's got to be something there that they're building up to. There's got to be. All right, breaking news. Free agent Ty Jerome has agreed to a 3-year, $28 million deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay. All right, with the player option in year 3. So there goes Ty Jerome. Man, okay, now we're starting. Good thing I stayed on for the extra hour. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get to 500 likes. Ty Jerome, 3-year, $38 million with Memphis is crazy. All right, Memphis has made their moves early here. And, I think they're out of money. I don't know where else they're going to spend any of their money or where else they're going to get any more money. So, yep. There you have it. Ty Jerome, fam. Let's see what else we got here coming down the pipeline. But, yeah, I'm still in shock. I didn't think Denver was going to be able to land a player of the magnitude of a Cam Johnson. right? I did not think so. For those of you that don't watch Cam Johnson, he's the only player who I think, well, I like Cam Thomas too, but who I think can really contribute on a winning team. 18.8 points per game for Cam Johnson with 4.3 rebounds, 3.4 assists, shooting 47% from the field. All right, so those are very good stats for a young piece like that, and wow, just what a move! What a move! He also shot 39% from beyond the arc, so a very good 3-point shooter. They don't lose much there as far as what they giving up Michael Porter Jr. Man, that's tough. That's tough right there. The West gets tougher. The West gets tougher. Now, I still don't believe the Denver Nuggets are a contender as of right now. But if they make another move, who knows? They could get back up there. But it makes them interesting for sure. It makes them interesting. Older player in Cam, but MPJ contract is why he needs to be traded. They're strapped for salary. Yeah, and a lot of teams making these type of moves right now. But that's a great move for Denver. I will say that. And I don't like Denver. You guys know, for me to give them credit, got to be a great move. Got to be a great move. Is he? Is Dennis a Sacramento King? Rumor had it they wanted both Dennis and they wanted Russell Westbrook. Why? Only the Lord knows. But yeah, that is the report right there, that they wanted both of those guys. And so I guess they were that desperate for point guards. So they went point guard shopping, quote unquote point guard shopping, right? Dan, love you, but how they not contenders? LOL, they took OKC to 7. That's because OKC, to me, OKC was unexperienced. OKC shouldn't have went to 7. OKC throughout the playoffs lost games they shouldn't have lost. They probably won't lose those games next year with 1 year under their belt. I didn't see Denver as a contender. You can make the same argument that, was it the Clippers who took them to 7? Yeah. So what, were the Clippers a contender too? That's not a good argument for calling them a contender. At least not in my opinion. Right? This is what Sam Vince says here. He said, this guy Sam Vecine says that Jake LaRavia is an upgrade of DFS for the Lakers. If not an upgrade, at least very close for a fraction of the price. He said, I think people are way underrating LaRavia on defense. I get that he is a bigger white dude that people think can't move, but he's actually pretty solid, versatile, plays with a ton of effort, rotates really well, moves his feet reasonably well. There you have it. There you have the cosign right there. So that's interesting. Let's see. Ty Jerome knows that the Cavs had traded for Lonzo Ball. Probably. He said the Lakers could have beaten them for sure. On what? Oh, we're talking about the Thunder? Yeah. I like their matchup versus the Thunder, but I'll like it more once we land DeAndre Ayton for sure. We got Dalton Connect at that position. It's a wasting signing. Dalton Connect could play shooting guard. LaRavia could play small forward. Dalton Connect is 6'6". LaRavia is 6'8". So I don't think it's a wasted signing. All right, more breaking news. Free agent Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year, $11 million deal to return to the Milwaukee Bucks. So Giannis was looking at what they were going to do in free agency, and they ain't done shit in free agency. Okay, I'll be honest with you. They just re-signing some of their players here and there. They might lose Brook Lopez, may or may not. Didn't OKC get 40 piece by Memphis before the jaw injury? Yeah, they did, actually. They did, right? But then that was the only game they won. I still don't believe Memphis was ever a contender. I'm sorry, I don't. Just looking at their makeup, their leadership, they're a good team. They're definitely exciting to watch during the regular season when healthy. But the maturity just isn't there to really be able to lead a team the way Halliburton led his team, the way Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led his team to the finals. I just don't see that from Ja Morant. He'll have to prove me wrong. Giannis and LeBron pointing at each other like the Spider-Man meme. They're both looking at their respective teams. Both of them, right? Dan, I heard Jake is from Pasadena, California, Michael Cooper's hometown. Same as me. Shout out to Jake. Let's see what Jake's got in store for the Lakers this season. I never discard a player without giving him a look and seeing how he plays, right? Is it a sexy name, free agent signing? No. But like I always tell you guys, it's usually the names you don't hear about that end up being signed or traded for, right? Giannis free agency 2027 to the Lakers. Book it. That would be great. There goes. Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. Was in trouble with the law a couple years back, and he's made a career for himself again. Right, starting with the Clippers. Let's see. Hey Dan, sometimes NBA players get overpaid like crazy because of their value. Yeah, I can see that, especially with the new CBA and the numbers skyrocketing and ballooning and all that good stuff. But I still think some players aren't necessarily worth what they're being paid. Some players are overpaid based on how desperate the team is that's paying them, right? And that's fine. I mean, kudos to the players. They're out here getting the paychecks. I got no problem with players getting paychecks. But once they get paid, the pressure's on, because then if you don't perform, then that's when the real criticism, and then now you got these overbloated contracts that nobody can trade away. You have to either buy out or you have to give somebody draft picks to take the contract on or whatever. He said that was me agreeing on them losing games they shouldn't have lost. Oh, I got you. But here's the thing, right? OKC, they're scary, man. They're only going to get better. We all know this. And didn't they have a top 15 draft pick in this year's draft or something like that on top of everything? Oh, my goodness. And they got, the draft pick from last year's first round pick coming back. Man. He said, get DeAnthony Melton, Rob. You want DeAnthony Melton? I don't mind him. Not my favorite, but I don't mind him. 6'3", though, man. Do we need more 6'3" guards? I prefer the size. I much prefer, if I had to pick between LaRavia and that guy, would have picked LaRavia because at least he's 6'8". You can throw him on multiple bodies. But Melton is a solid backup. I do not want him. Again, I'm kind of sick of 6'3" and under guards. I think we should start trending to getting 6'5" and over guards, or at least 6'4" and over guards. We saw what the lack of size from Gabe Vincent brought us. Absolutely nothing in the playoffs. Wow, Denver. Okay, Denver Nuggets are contenders again, y'all. Fucking Denver. Free agent Bruce Brown has signed a 1-year deal with the Denver Nuggets, sources tell ESPN. Holy crap. That's the guy I didn't want them to sign. That's the guy that elevated him last time. Bruce Brown back to the Nuggets. Now they're contenders. I said they're like a piece away. There's your piece. And that annoys me because I hate Denver. That means we're going to have to run into them at some point. Okay, so they got Bruce Brown and they got Cam Johnson. And now all of a sudden it went from Houston Rocket winning the offseason to a two-way tie between Denver and Houston. That sucks, man. That really sucks. That they opened up money from the Porter Jr. trade and signed Bruce Brown. You see how easily other teams can operate? Man. Yeah, that is a problem, y'all. That is a huge problem, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Denver's back. Denver's back, y'all. I'm not even going to lie. I was hoping they couldn't do a signing like that. But look, somehow they find the money to do it. Credit to them. I hate that team. I hate that franchise, but credit to them, man. Man. We definitely need to go get that big man now, more than ever. As of right now, Jason Black, without the big man, no. Talk to me again. After we land our big man. Almost 1.5 hours into free agency, the Denver Nuggets land Cam Johnson via trade for Michael Porter Jr. and bring back a fan favorite to do it all forward and Bruce Brown Jr., reports Shams Charania. That one disappointed me. I'm not going to lie. I did not want Denver to get Bruce Brown. Anybody but Denver, the Clippers, or Boston. Anybody but those three, I would have been okay with. But that's a huge signing. He's very familiar there. It's going to be a different system because they're under a new head coach, but we know what Bruce Brown brings. We know his 3-and-D, his prowess. We all remember what he did to D'Angelo Russell in the Western Conference Finals. Everybody remembers that. So everybody saying he's overrated? No, he's not. Not on the Denver Nuggets. All right, breaking news. Free agent center Kevon Looney has agreed to a 2-year, $60 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, that's an interesting move. The Pelicans? Are the Pelicans trying to get better this year? Is that why they traded their top pick unprotected? Kevon Looney to the Pelicans. So the Pelicans landed big before my Lakers. Oh, my Lord. 2 years worth $16 million. Appreciate it, Ange. There you have it, man. Oh my goodness. Hey, this day one and free agency started off slow, but now it's picking up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get it to 750. Come on now. Let's get it up there. Let's keep extending it. I'm gonna do this for y'all. I said every 500, I'll go an extra hour. Every 250. This is gonna be a marathon stream, y'all. Longer than I've ever done. Apparently, D'Angelo Russell will waive his player option in the second season of his 2-year, $13 million deal with the Mavericks. So no player option there for D'Lo. All right, he's locked in for 2 years. Golden State looking bold. You just know that if Golden State lost Kevon Looney, they're going to go out and get a Horford. God forbid they steal DeAndre Ayton from under our noses. Then I'll be really pissed this offseason. Then I'll be really pissed. If Rob Pelinka cannot close DeAndre Ayton and a backup big, I'm going to be pissed. Pissed if that happens. We better not let that happen, y'all. Of course, Dennis Schroeder, as reported earlier, joins the Sacramento Kings. Dennis Schroeder, good little pickup for them. Better than Westbrook, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Bruce Brown going back over there, bro, was disheartening. And then Looney to the Pelicans, which tells me the Warriors are in the market for a big man for sure. You hate to see it. And look at here. Let's see if I can pull up this graphic here. Give me 1 sec. Because this got real interesting just now. Real interesting between Jake LaRavia and former Laker DFS. There you have it. Shout out to my guy Michael for sending me this graphic. Check this out. Dorian Finney-Smith versus Jake LaRavia last season. DFS 8.7, 6.9 for Jake. Rebounds, team rebounds, 3.9 even. Assists, 2.4, win Jake LaRavia. Steals, 0.9, tied. Blocks, by 1/10 of a point, goes to DFS. All right, 0.4 to 0.3. Field goal percentage, Jake LaRavia by a lot. 3-point percentage, Jake LaRavia by a lot. Free throws, Jake. Right? Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. That is interesting. Wasn't nobody watching the Kings. We know that. That's decent. That's decent. We'll see if that translates over to the Lakers, as the numbers can look amazing. But let's see if that actually translates on over down here. You know what? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Defensively, the numbers are very comparable, but that's just a small sample size of last season. Mind you, this guy was hurt as well, so it's a very small sample size. CPT Cowboys, Compton Cowboys 33, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the love right there on the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button as well. You guys are the best. As we get the breaking news here, guys, I'm going to wear out my voice. I'm going to go till I can't no more. I'm going all the way. And then if something breaks Laker-related again, I'm popping right back up here. I'm going to go all the way till I can't no more. So hit that like button, man. We got 1,378 in here. Let's get up to 750 likes. Let's get it. We can do it. We can do it. Jake is a good pickup. Nobody should be worried. I'm not worried about Jake. The only thing I'm worried about is getting our big man. Once we get that, listen, I will breathe a sigh of relief. I don't care if you get Krusty the Clown as a backup point guard. Just give me a big man and a backup big man. Let's do that. Please. What was that graphic of LaRavia and DFS you just looked at? Somebody just sent it to my way. Somebody sent it my way. I already clicked out of it, but shout out to my guy, Michael, who sent it. All right, so I clicked out of it. I lost that graphic. But, yeah, somebody sent it. Got the best fans in the world constantly sending me stuff, so appreciate y'all. Yes, hit that like button. It was on Twitter, by the way, if you want to look for the graphic. Appreciate that, LA Mamba. Thank you, my brother. Let's see. 626 says, do you think any big breaking news will happen on day one of free agency? I mean, it already did. We've already had a couple of trades if you're tuning in late. Denver Nuggets traded Michael Porter Jr. for Cam Johnson, and then they turned around and signed Bruce Brown. I almost said Bruce Bowen. Bruce Brown, who I think makes him very dangerous there. Big-time upgrade to Russell Westbrook. Matter of fact, Denver hasn't been the same since they lost him, so getting him back is a major plus for them. And they get Cam Johnson, man. LaRavia to the Lakers on a 2-year deal worth $6 million a year. Right? People are calling it a steal. I didn't see enough of LaRavia to really give you a full assessment of him. Let's be honest. A lot of us weren't watching wasn't watching the Kings. All right, it was the Kings. Especially after they traded Fox. Nobody's interested. Nuggets cooking, not gonna lie. Yes, they are, sis. They are. We got to keep it a stack. Nuggets are having a phenomenal offseason. Phenomenal offseason. Not just the Denver Nuggets, right? Not just the Denver Nuggets, the Houston Rockets. I think it's a two-way tie between who won between them so far. We still got a lot of ways to go, though. A lot of ways to go. Let's see. Crazy says, wonder who the Warrior hoes are going after since Looney is gone. From what I've heard, it's likely going to be Al Horford, but don't put it past those little sneaky bastards to try to pull out one of our big men that we're pursuing, right? Whether it's Brook Lopez or Clint Capella, or especially, and God forbid it, knock on wood, baby, knock on wood, God forbid it, but especially DeAndre Ayton. If we get Ayton with Jake LaRavia, who we already got, and another backup big, I'm cool. Call it an offseason. Bring back the rest. See who we can find as a steal from Summer League, and then you go into the season with all your trade chips still intact. Expiring contracts, check. First round draft picks, check. Young pieces like Dalton, check. We will still be able to have some wiggle room to make some acquisitions during the season. So I'd be happy with just having two big men. Starting with Ayton, though. It has to start with Ayton. Anything less than Ayton at this point is disappointing, especially seeing what other teams in the West are doing. You know, especially seeing what other teams like the Denver Nuggets and the Rockets are doing. They're going all the way in. Man, the Rockets are big winners, too, getting DFS tonight for nothing. Right? Mind you, we traded a first-round pick alongside D'Angelo Russell. So we essentially for a rental in DFS, and we end up losing. Right? Well, Brook Lopez will be more for stability off the bench. Last I checked, he still averaged 13 points a game. He's still very efficient and can space the floor. You can have some stability off the bench, and injuries or foul trouble are going to happen to our primary big, assuming that is Ayton or Capella. So you need stability off the bench. I want two of the main free agent bigs that are out there. How would you feel if we trade Gabe for Kelly Olynyk? Great. Get Gabe off my team. I don't care if we get Kelly Olynyk or Kelly in the clinic or, whoever we get. Just get Gabe Vincent off my team. He was too undersized. He didn't perform in the playoffs like I thought he would. We waited a whole year for that. I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. So, yeah, get him off my team. And here we go. Here we go. Free agent center Luke Cornette has agreed to a 4-year, $41 million deal with the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, so the Spurs make off like bandits here with a 4-year, $41 million. That's pretty good bang for your buck, right? Key front court addition for the Spurs. Wow, Luke Cornette is off. He was like my fourth or fifth option. So even the Spurs getting better before us at the big man, which is fine as long as we get our guys. I don't care if it takes till Wednesday. Get our guys. But Cornette, done. Off the board. Another one off the board. Credit to the Spurs, man. The Spurs are doing their best to get better. We should be straight. But yeah, Cornette. I know, right, sis? I would almost have felt a lot better had the Lakers started signing a free agent big before Jake. I would have felt a lot better. But I have trust in the new ownership group and then Rob that they'll get the big we need, which is Ayton. And then we'll get another big after that. But Cornette to the Spurs is pretty decent. He'll be backing up Wemby. And so that's very intriguing. 411 likes. Let's get it, guys. Want to keep it going past the 2-hour mark? Let's get to 500. That's my minimal ask. Come on. Let's get it. Bruce Brown going back to the Nuggets on a 1-year deal. Yes, we talked about it. Great acquisition for them. You hate to see it for us because the West gets tougher. Meanwhile, our biggest pickup so far is Jake LaRavia, who's not even in need right now necessarily. But again, we have confidence. Unless we see one of those big... I'm not going to panic till I see something nasty happen, like DeAndre Ayton go to the Warriors or something like that along those lines. Then I start to panic. Now I'm thinking, Rob, what are you doing? Now I'm thinking you better make a trade, right? So, again, we cannot sign DeAndre Ayton as of today. That's the good news. The bad news is these big men are coming off the board quickly, yo. They're coming off the board. These big men are coming off the board quicker than, I don't even want to say it, but quicker than Kim Kardashian's backyard. Come on now. These big men out here are scarce in the market. And every time one goes, I get a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, there's less options. Damn, there's less options. Damn, there's less options, right? Bray, what's up, fam? How you doing, my guy? Good to see you, man. How you doing, little bro? He said, I just want to see break in Los Angeles, LA, Ayton. Ayton wants to go to a team that can compete. It was between us and the Spurs, but now the Spurs just signed Cormet. Ayton, come home to Cali. Again, sources have confirmed, starting with Chris Haynes, have confirmed that that's pretty much a done deal verbally. Now, can somebody back out and renegade from their verbal deal? Yes. It's not official until it's inked and signed and introduced. But it sounds like, my friend, like Ayton is going to be a Laker. That's the good news. I'll be really happy when it happens. Because DeAndre Ayton, again, he's no slouch. I know they say he doesn't have the work ethic or the motor or whatever. Change of scenery will do wonders. Him and his ability to play pick and roll, pick and pop, because he can shoot, shot 36% from beyond the arc. His ability to be a pick and roll lob threat and pop threat with Luka, with LeBron, and with Austin I think is what guarantees him here. Not to mention we have a good head coach on paper as far as right now goes, and we have new ownership. I think that's all going to vote well for us. In the past, we would miss out on free agents. Oh shit! Oh, okay. Now I'm a little nervous, y'all, because free agent center Clint Capella has agreed to a 3-year, $21.5 million deal with the Houston Rockets. Wow. How do they have all this fucking money? Talk about the rich getting richer. Clint Capella is a Houston Rockets? Nah, bro. See, now I'm getting nervous. Then there was two. You got Ayton. Actually, you got three. You got Ayton, you got Horford, and you got Brook Lopez. Now I'm getting nervous. There's 3 centers that I want primarily left. That is crazy, man. The Rockets are getting everybody. What are we doing? Bro, yeah, the Rockets with Clint Capella, they were already low-key bullying the Warriors last year during that second-round matchup. Now they get another bully to go alongside in the front court with a Steven Adams. Oh, my God. Do you imagine what type of fouls they're going to have? The type of bruising, the type of everything, the type of screens they're going to set. Oh, man. Houston is very scary. Yes, they are, sis. That's the last team I wanted them to sign with. Oh, my goodness. Them or the Warriors. That one hurts. I'm not going to lie. That one hurts. Man, everybody's coming off the books quickly here, y'all. Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, that right there, guys. That's low-key who I wanted to be our backup, but we got 8. Now, the next best option there is either Horford or Brook Lopez. Houston's going to be a problem. Houston is not we got a problem, is they're going to be a problem. He said that means they're dumping Whitmore because they are getting that. How are they getting that money? Maybe later on we'll hear that they worked a sign and trade deal with the Lakers for DFS. Maybe. But I'm puzzled, man. Teams have finally woken up and figured out that the modern NBA is no longer about going small ball with the crappy Golden State Warrior offense anymore. Now everybody wants size, and that's what I was afraid of. I was hoping we got to our size before the rest of the league realized that it was always about the size. That's what she said. But it was always about the size, chat. Always. And these big men are coming off the board so quickly here, guys, so quickly that it's scary, y'all. Breaking news, free agent guard Caris LeVert agreed to a 2-year, $29 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons, y'all. The Detroit Pistons just got Caris LeVert. My goodness, man. Wow. These free agents are just flying off the board. This might be my best free agency special as far as activity goes. I thought it was going to be dry. And look, there goes 10% of the free agent market in the first couple of hours. My goodness, chat. How are we feeling? The West is most definitely a problem. Well, we can't be afraid of that. We got to come out here, guns blazing. It's going to be the only way to survive the Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West. 43 minutes since the Lakers have made a move. Well, we don't have many moves left. If we want DeAndre Ayton, we got to secure him first. You might not see a move till after Wednesday. Or, unless it's a trade involved, or it's another little veterans minimum contract. But don't expect nothing major, man. The major moves are being made by the major players right now. Houston is clearly winning the entire offseason. First they re-sign Steven Adams, who I was hoping that we can pry away from them. Then they trade for Kevin Durant. Then they sign DFS. Now they sign Clint Capella? Bruh, where do they even find all this money to do all these things? Where? They're going crazy right now. So it says here, the Rockets don't have enough remaining in their mid-level to sign Clint Capella to these terms. It looks like a sign and trade is coming, either with this deal or the Dorian Finney-Smith. Told you guys. DFS, there's probably a deal. We're probably going to land Cam Whitmore or somebody. I don't know. But if I was the Lakers, I'll be honest, I'll tell you what I would do if I was the Lakers. I'm not fucking helping them to get DFS. You figure it out yourself. I'm not helping that team unless I really benefit from it. Unless I'm getting Capella, which is not going to happen. Man, oh my goodness. The West is an absolute problem. The Nuggets, the Rockets, the Thunder. Those are your top 3 teams in the West right off the top. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. I would love Cam Whitmore. I've always loved him since we passed on him in the draft. I do like him. He's had some huge scoring games against us. But there's a huge but. Not at the expense of getting those big men that I want, right? Since we got Jake LaRavia, how many more guards do we need? Right? Unless we include a guard like Gabe Vincent or somebody rerouted into a 3-team deal or something. That's the only way I can see this happening. That's the only way we can see this happening. But my goodness, y'all. Free agency is out here with an absolute freaking bang. Absolute freaking bang. This might be one of the craziest free agents / off seasons. There's already been trades. There's already been everything. And then some. And we're still waiting on the Lakers. It's like I'm going to be active all summer long. My God, man. And again, hit that like button for your boy as I start to get dizzy with the light in my eyes here. Sign and trade, right? On the way for the Lakers potentially. I can see that. Who do you guys want from the Rockets, y'all, on a sign and trade? I want to know. I really want to know. Who do you guys want from the Houston Rockets? Cam Whitmore, to me, intrigues the crap out of me. It does. Cam Whitmore has really good potential. He's been underutilized due to the depth they had over there. Rob apparently is waiting for DeAndre Ayton. Now let's hope that DeAndre Ayton doesn't spurn us, because then it'll all be lost. I would take Cam Whitmore and Steven Adams. I would do that. Steven Adams as our backup with Cam Whitmore. There's a good suggestion right there. Don't know if the money matches, but I like the way you think. I didn't even think of that. I like the way you think. Yes, Cam Whitmore and Steven Adams would be great. They're not trading us Thompson. Stop it. They're not trading us Amen Thompson. Stop it. I would love it. Jabari Smith, I think he's making too much, right? Somebody check on his contract. I think he's making too much. That wouldn't even fit under the DFS contract. Right? But again, the West is insane. Steven Adams to the Lakers would be A1 steak sauce. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. If Steven Adams was our backup and DeAndre Ayton starting, all right, now we're cooking up something. But I don't know. I don't know if I can give credit to Rob to be that creative. I don't know. I have to see it to believe it. All right, Cam and Adams, or I don't want Londell. I don't want him. I like Cam. I like him too, man. I liked him since the draft. Let's make it happen, y'all. Let's make it happen. But let's see how creative Rob is right now. 3-year, $21 million deal. Man, Capella back to the Rockets is crazy, chat. Crazy. All right, somebody had asked me to find him the graphic. Looks like it was Lakers all day. Every day that posted the graphic. I just found it again. Here you have it. Here's the graphic. You guys wanted me to compare the stats. There you have it. Those are the stats between Jake LaRavia and Jake LaRavia and DFS. They're very comparable. Now, again, these are two different teams, two completely different scenarios. So I wouldn't hold my breath for Jake to have similar contributions to DFS. Defensively, offensively, TBD. TBD. He seems like he'd be a solid option off the bench. But that's about all I can say. Those are the numbers right there, guys. Very comparable. And just to give you guys a little bit more context on that signing right there. Right there you have it. Hopefully you guys were able to take a screenshot if you need to compare it. Just follow Lakers all day, every day. All right, he posted on his account. All right, Luke Cormet to the Spurs. Yeah, that was crazy. I seen that earlier. That was really freaking crazy, y'all. So many moves going. Y'all, I'm going to have grades at the end of free agency for each team. I'm going to have grades because, man, a lot of teams got better, especially in the West. But there's one team that right now is really standing out to me, and I'll show it to you after the super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Jonathan Reyes said Jake is 6'8". Sign and trade for Whitmore. We get younger. I'd be happy with Whitmore. We should have always drafted him. We failed. We can for sure correct our mistake. He's got great potential. Athletic, can score. Somebody who can get on transition, can put up points in bunches. We needed that off the bench. So he would be tremendous with us, and he gets a chance to turn things around. Thank you so much for Super Chat, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Rockets definitely ain't playing. They ain't not playing, fam. They are not playing right now. And I'm telling you, we got 10 minutes to hit the 500 like mark. Otherwise, I will take a break. But I want to be on with you guys because I feel like things are happening. This is your new look Houston Rockets right here. H-Town in the building, chat. H-Town is in the – they're in the house. And they're tough. This is potentially your starting lineup, but then off the bench, you're going to have Clint Capella. Right? They're like, bruh, if this doesn't scream championship contender to you, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. That's scary. They're definitely not playing. What's going on? Spamming? That's crazy. Yeah, there's always going to be haters and weirdos out there spamming. Trust me, that's why I got the GOAT moderator. Shout out to the GOAT moderator, Kimmy Goat. Much love. Ty Jerome to the Spurs. Yeah, we've seen that one. We're pretty much up to date, man. As soon as it happens, I got you guys covered on everything. But, yeah, I can't believe they got Bruce Brown so cheap back to Denver. Looks like he got the vet minimum. Man. My heart is hurt, y'all, because the Western Conference is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Right? I don't feel as confident in our team as of right now. That could change depending on the rest of free agency and if there's any trades or anything. But I don't feel as confident right now as I did yesterday based on all these moves that are happening. So far, Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson from the Nets over to Brooklyn. Right? Houston Rockets land Capella and DFS. Huge acquisitions. By far the best offseason so far. Right? Even the Spurs got Luke Cormet. Even they got their big. Meanwhile, Al Horford's over there flirting with the Golden State Wussies. Right? Let's see if that comes to fruition. But what's going to happen with the Lakers? Rumor had it we were very interested in Brook Lopez. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton is the favorite to get here. Right? But now we're hearing of a potential sign and trade with the Rockets. There's just so many moving parts, guys. So many moving parts right now that it's all so much to take in. Man, there's so much to take in right now, guys. What do you guys think so far? Let's hit that like button. Let's get to 500. Is it think about what there is to be excited about in Portland? What was there to be excited about in Portland? What are we talking about? DeAndre Ayton? DeAndre Ayton isn't playoff material. Blue Oak, think again. If you don't think he's playoff material, go check the finals run when they made it to the finals. He was their starting center, last I checked. If they made it to the finals with DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker there's definitely a chance that the Lakers can make it to the finals with DeAndre Ayton. All right, so many moves so far here, guys. So the Lakers, again, just to recap really quickly on all the free agent moves that we have gotten so far from Shams, all right, because Shams has been active. All right, so obviously Karis LeVert agreeing to a two-year deal with the Detroit Pistons. You got Clint Capella, right? A fully guaranteed 3-year deal with the Houston Rockets worth about $21 million, right? And then you got Luke Cormet with the Spurs, $41 million for 4 years. All right, just to recap. Kevon Looney from the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, Kevon Looney up with the New Orleans Pelicans on a 2-year, $16 million. So essentially $8 million a year there. And then you got D'Angelo Russell with the Dallas Mavericks on a 2-year, $13 million deal. Right? You got Bruce Brown on a 1-year deal, which looks like veterans minimum with the Denver Nuggets. Right? We'll get more details on that. You got Kevin Porter Jr. re-upping with the Bucks. Right? You got Ty Jerome signing a 3-year, $28 million deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. We got the trade that happened between Michael Porter Jr., between the Nuggets and the Nets for Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Johnson. Right? We got Trey Jones agreeing to a 3-year, $24 million deal so far. Jake LaRavia, 2-year, $12 million deal with our Los Angeles Lakers. Right? Just to recap, and then you got DFS agreeing with the Rockets on a 4-year, $53 million deal. And then, of course, you got Paul Reed on a 2-year, $11 million deal. Just to recap, and then the main thing was Jaren Jackson Jr. extended in a max deal, $240 million for 5 years. So just to recap for those of you that are tuning in, we're still going strong. We get to 500 likes. We go the extra hour, heading over 2 hours so far. CPT Cowboy, appreciate you. He said Gary Trent Jr. would be perfect, cheap, can defend, and can shoot the three. What you think? I still think we should definitely get rid of Gabe Vincent. I don't want no more 6-foot guards as long as we got him. What are we going to do with a bunch of hobbits on the roster, right? This league is now trending towards size at the point guard. 6'4", 6'5", and up. You see the Josh Giddys of the world. You see, obviously, the Shea Alexanders. You see, that is where the league is trending, right? This is why I was okay before we traded for Luka with Austin running the point, because he's 6'5". At least he had the size to guard most point guards, right? Now, that if we get somebody like that, I do like Gary Trent Jr. I do like what he brings to the table. You have to offload Gabe Vincent, man. Why are we sitting on that contract? He's an expiring contract. He's got to have some sort of value. That's my only thing, if that happens, right? G Loading, appreciate you, my friend. He said, wait, what if the Rockets are gearing up for a trade for Giannis package like Sengun, Reed, Shepard, Whitmore, and a bunch of picks? Oh, man, I just got dizzy just even thinking about it. I just got dizzy just even thinking about that, because it is very plausible. It's probable. Looks like super teams aren't dead if that happens, right? It looks like they aren't dead, but man. No, we don't have any updates on Nall, but for sure the Lakers won't have enough to sign him. Let's go, Chet. We almost hit 500 likes. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. I want to go for another hour. I'm pushing it here. I'm pushing it because I want to give you guys the news as soon as it happens. As soon as it happens. I don't want to get off and then have to come back on, especially if the Lakers do something, which I will do. But, I'd rather stay on for the bulk of the news. And then we will come back later on tonight for sure, especially if we can accumulate a couple more trades and free agent signings here that happen. And like I said, let Gabe Vincent off my team. That's what I'm talking about, man. No more hobbits over here with the Lakers, man. Enough is enough. Laker Nation has had enough of these short point guards who get exposed and exploited. And if they're not scoring or playmaking, they're not giving you nothing. We need big guards because that way they can defend multiple positions. They can rebound. They can pass. There's so much they can do. Go out and give me some big guards if you want guards. Otherwise, we don't need that many guards. Go give me a big man. They say the Houston Rockets can't sign Capella. I know. They might have to. The Lakers might have to agree to a sign and trade. But if I'm the Lakers, y'all figure it out. I'm not going to help y'all to a championship. If I'm the Lakers, I'm not doing that. Because that could be the team that gets in our way and we helping them sign and trade. Unless we make off like bandits, we get a first-round pick out of it. We get Cam Whitmore. We got to also play the same hardball that they play versus us. Because if we were the ones trying to create cap space, what do you guys think would happen? I'll wait. What do you guys think would happen if we were the ones trying to create cap space here, Laker Nation? Right? Go get us a first-round pick. Go get us Cam Whitmore, and then we can have that conversation. I'm not helping them get DFS and Capella. I'm sorry. You clear out your own money. I'm sure they can do it. I'm sure they could trade those guys elsewhere to clear out some cap space, but I feel like they really need us. And just like the Jazz and other teams, if you need us, you know what I mean? Oh, no. Guys, Oh, no. Free agent center Brook Lopez has agreed to a 2-year, $18 million deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. You got to be kidding me, y'all. You have got to be kidding me, y'all. The Flippers get Brook Lopez before we do? I'm trying not to cuss, y'all, but the Clippers? Really? That bomber, man, he got to be paying cocaine. Ain't no way this man is paying real actual money. Where do you get the cap space from, man? There's got to be some under-the-table shit happening over there. Ain't no way the Clippers just got Brook Lopez over us. To come off the bench, nonetheless. Because Brook is not going to start over big man Zubats. We couldn't get Brook Lopez to come off the bench for us? Hold up, I got to find out more about this deal. How much did they pay this sucker, man? $18 million deal. Come on, man. Come on. Are you serious? The Clippers, fam. Now I'm worried about who our backup center is going to be. The fact that, okay, yes, we might get Ayton, but now who's our backup center? We better not come back with no Jackson Hayes, fam. We better not come back with no damn Jackson Hayes. Okay, this guy has featherweight. He gets moved around more than my windshield wiper. Ain't no way he should be our backup big man. I'd rather get Bobo if that's the case. If we're going to go with a project, go give me Bobo. 8 foot tall, can space the floor at least. Come on now. The Clippers? Brook Lopez. Congratulations, you played yourself. You went to the career graveyard. Oh my god. We might have to do that, sis. We might have to. Yeah. We might have to. Reports were that we were targeting two. Who are the two? Unless we're getting Al Horford to back us up, which I wouldn't mind. Or unless, like people said, they're speculating that we're going to get Steven Adams in a sign and trade for DFS. Then I'd be okay. But I'm saying, bro, you feel me, bro? Like, what do the Clippers do to pay these players to go there? Like, you got to be paying in cocaine or something, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Like, when I look at that owner, you know he's coked out, man. You just know it. You know it. Could involve more teams. So something big is going to happen. It's got to be. Rob got to know what he's doing. Ain't no way he's just sitting on his hands right now. Because if he is, guess what, guys? You guys remember what I said last year and the year before that? If you sit on your hands, that means your hands are smelling like ass right about now. We definitely don't want no ass-smelling president of basketball of operations out there, y'all. We don't want that. So you better not be sitting on your hands right now, bro. Like, just because you got Ayton, you better make sure you're working the phones and making sure you got something else in the works. We need a backup big as well. One big is not going to be enough. DeAndre Ayton, I'd love to have him. Probably the best big available from this free agent class. But to just have him and Jackson Hayes to back him up is not going to be good enough in the West. You see what everybody's doing. No way. I can't believe the Flippers landed Brook Lopez. That's crazy right there. That is crazy. A 2-year, $18 million deal with the Flippers. By the way, what does this do to Giannis? Giannis, your team is getting worse. Demand the trade now. Okay? What do you got coming back to show for it? You got an injured Damian Lillard. You got a Kevin Porter Jr., journeyman. What are they doing this offseason? So if I'm Giannis, man, request your trade. Hurry up, bro. Man, I can't believe the Clippers got their backup big man before we did. I'm so sick of them. And for what? They're not going to do nothing with it anyways. They're not going to do a damn thing with Brook Lopez. Oh, my God, bro. When I read Los Angeles, I thought I was going to read Lakers. And then it said the Clippers. I couldn't believe this shit. Oh, man. Well, it is what it is, I guess, right? We got to deal with it. Brook Lopez is a flipper. He decided to go to a basketball career purgatory. He's officially a Clipper. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these flippers paying in cocaine, bro. Ain't no way they should be able to land this amount of talent. They always get everybody. They got Norman Powell. They got Kawhi. They got James Harden. When does the cap actually impact them? When does the new CBA impact them? When? Like, that frustrates me, bro. The new CBA don't mean shit to the fucking Clippers because they're out here, man. I'm done with the topic. Let's move on. Let's see who else you got first, Shams. Who else you got? Because apparently some players don't care about them. They don't care about their careers. That's it. Yeah, Ange. Ange. What's going on? They're supposed to be dried up money, and they're finding money out of. What is this? Where are they finding this pot of gold? I get it when Boston does it. That's my Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious, right? The luck of the Irish. They find this amazing hidden money, but even they have had to sell. But now the Clippers and Steve Ballmer, like, what are you paying in, bro? Like, what is cryptocurrency? What's going on? Bro, that makes me sick. I mean it, too. I mean it when I say that. Just don't. You cannot look at the owner and tell me he's not coked out. I'm sorry. I got to keep it a stack. Lopez ain't no lob threat. It's not about being a lob threat. It's about him being a backup option. Kornet is off the books. Horford looking likely to go to Golden State. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he comes to the Lakers as our backup. We need a backup, and I wanted a veteran big backup. We don't get a veteran big, and we have to go for a young player. Then we're going to have to take a swing on like a Bobo. I wouldn't mind him. Or like a Marvin Bagley. But those aren't guaranteed players. I'm sick of, taking flyers on players like Jackson Hayes that never pan out. Especially come playoff time. We can't have that. This is why I wanted a Brook Lopez or a Horford, which is still an option, or a Luke Kornet, and we haven't got any of them. Freaking Clippers. They always have something, don't they? They always have something. Money out of sight because fights, bro. Tell me about it. I did not expect Brook Lopez landing with the Clippers. That's crazy. But hey, I guess he doesn't care about winning no more. I guess he got his one chip and he's done. I guess he got his one chip and he is done. We'll see what happens, yo. We'll see what happens. We might still be able to move some money around, but man, that is seriously sickening. He said, I hope JJ Redick has no input on this roster construction, small ball BS. We need a backup big, a good one. We need a good backup big. I agree. Yo, D-Free, we do not need to go small at the back. Look at the entire league is trending towards size. Even the Suns, of all people, drafted for size and traded for size. Everybody and their mama is getting size. And guess what? Even the Clippers, the most mediocre franchise in sports history, just got Brook Lopez. But what are the Lakers doing? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to be very patient, but there better be, a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. That's all I'm going to say. There better be. Because I'm tired of Rob Pelinka falling short in off seasons. He better not fall short again. We got Ayton. Great. We'll celebrate that once we officially ink him up. But the Clippers should not have gotten Brook Lopez over us. That right there is insane. And for $8 million, bruh, for $2 million more, we could have offered him maybe potentially $5 million. Come on, y'all. Dan, what do you think about trading for Claxton if we can't land Ayton? We better land Ayton. That's all I'm going to say. That's number one. And then after that, we can trade for whoever they want. But we better start with landing Ayton. We better start with that. Right, crazy. He's on his final strike if he doesn't have a good offseason. You see what the Rockets did. You see what the Denver Nuggets did. You see what everybody's doing. The Clippers made a move before us. The Clippers. Well, I'll tell you what. You have every right to be nervous, and some of us even upset. I thought some of these big men will still be on the board by Wednesday. I guess not. That's crazy, yo, D-Free. From what I heard, the Lakers were high on Lopez, but I guess they got their main big man. I really hope that we're involved in a sign and trade that brings Steven Adams back to the Lakers. That's the only thing that would make it okay for me to have a legitimate backup that's not Brook Lopez or any of the other names I named already. We went all in on Ayton. He shares agents with Luka and Jax, so I'm sure Rob knows his plan. God, Ayton, I'm happy with. Jackson Hayes, please. I never, ever want to see Jackson Hayes anywhere near the Lakers or any single ladies out there. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. We don't want Jackson Hayes around any of our females of Los Angeles. We just don't. Team throwing money to keep them centers from us. They big mad at the Luka trade. Man, my goodness. And on top of that, they don't want to deal with us. That's what makes it even more frustrating. My phone's blowing up. My brother, my cousins, everybody texting me right now because the Clippers just got Brook Lopez, I'm sure. Everybody mad. My cousins, DeMarcus Cousins, everybody texting me right now. I know they're upset. I don't even want to read my text right now because I know everybody's upset that the Clippers landed that giraffe by the name of Brook Lopez. Meanwhile, the Lakers are stuck with Jackson Hayes. I wonder in that statement Rich Paul made put a bad taste in free agents' minds. Oh, my goodness. I hope not. I hope not. Because then we trading Rich Paul if that happens. We trading Rich Paul right now if that happens, all right? I doubt it, but if it does happen, sis, I'll be the first one to carry his bags to the airport. Who are we getting then? We're going to start with Ayton. That has to be a must, a done deal. Based on everything I'm hearing and what the reports are saying, Ayton is a shoo-in to be a Laker. Here's the problem. What after that? It cannot just be DeAndre Ayton and then Jake LaRabia as the backup fucking center. You know what I mean? Just because he's 6'8". No. We're not going with the Steph Curry ball no more. This guy's about to retire. You know? No. Bro, we still got Alex Len. Stop it. That's horrible. Alex Len should not get another NBA contract in his career. And that's not me hating on him. That's just the facts. Appreciate you, Jose. He said, this is Rob's last season, regardless of how good he does this free agency goes. For him, new ownership always equals new management. You're probably right. Yo, I would love to have Al Horford. Thank you so much for Super Chat, bro. I would love to have Al Horford, but right now it's sounding like the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, always somehow, swoop in and grab whoever we want. They're kind of like the Clippers' little brother in that sense. They tend to swoop in. The Clippers always doing this. That's what pisses me off. And they're not going to do anything with this giraffe. Everybody knows Brook Lopez is not scary in LA with the Clippers. Could have been something with the real LA team, but he's going to find out what Paul George and Kawhi Leonard found out. You're not winning shit with the Clippers. Good luck collecting your final paycheck. Good luck. All right? With the Clippers. So upset with that, man. I forgot about Len's sanity. Oh, my goodness. Alex Len over Debo, over Trey Jamison III might have been one of the worst things the Lakers have done since letting Caruso walk. Because we basically didn't have a big man for the playoffs. That's horrible. A backup big man, to say the least. And then Jackson Hayes shit the bed, and then there was nothing there. He said, it's 5 p.m. Ayton is officially waived. Well, he won't clear waivers till Wednesday. But yeah, man, I'm really, really sad that mediocre franchises like the Clippers get to land, decent free agents like Brook Lopez. Meanwhile, the Lakers are here waiting for the scraps. Clint Capella going to the Rockets. Man, Kevon Looney picking the Spurs over the Lakers. Even he would have been a solid backup, right? Right now, as far as big men go, obviously Ayton, and you got Al Horford, you got Bobo. Who else do we got out there? Just off the top of my head. We got Bobo. We got Marvin Bagley, who I wouldn't mind, also a part of that same draft. Can you imagine the full circle? We already have Luka, who's the superstar here in LA. You get Marvin Bagley, who was the number 2 overall pick over Luka, and DeAndre Ayton, who was the number 1 pick over Luka. That would be insane, man. That would be insane. We'll see. But again, man, it seems like the news is starting to slow down here. If we don't get any more news over the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna hop off here, take a break, and then come back relatively soon. So what I'm hearing is the Rockets trade Cam Whitmore and cut Jack Londale at a minimum. This allows them to fit Dorian Finney-Smith and Clint Capella in their reported numbers. So most likely we are going to get Cam Whitmore. That is some decent news for the future, right? Because Cam Whitmore is a bucket. He's somebody that I think can really thrive in Los Angeles. He's extremely athletic, can shoot. I always liked him since college. We might be able to right or wrong with that draft pick, but that doesn't solve anything for now. That's for the future, right? I thought Ayton can agree to a contract with the team today. Well, technically he can't agree till he clears waivers, but there's already wink deals on the side. From what we're hearing, it's the Lakers. Okay, and especially with the market, all these teams filling out their big men, it's going to be really tough to see him going elsewhere. It's going to be extremely tough to see him going elsewhere outside of the Lake. I'm not too concerned about Ayton, right? Now we're hearing that Atlanta and Minnesota are in active conversations on a sign and trade for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Did y'all hear that? So y'all was asking me for that update right there. There you go. Free agent center Luka Garza has agreed to a 2-year, $5.5 million fully guaranteed deal with the Boston Celtics. Sources tell ESPN the Celtics negotiated a new deal with Garza representatives. So again, that is good news. That is great news right there. The fact that Boston hasn't swooped in on one of our big men. Oh my goodness. Luka Garza to the Celtics. All right, nobody cares about that guy. He's a decent rebounder. Seems to me like the Celtics are just not even trying to compete, right? Because otherwise they would pay whatever money they need to for Al Horford to go back. Appreciate it, D Free. He said, not surprising it was Atlanta or Detroit for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but Karis LeVert meant that ATL won. Facts. Yeah, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, very good player. I think, during this free agency, because it's kind of a dried up free agency for the guard position, a lot of these free agents are being overvalued. Nickeil Alexander-Walker in a better free agency wouldn't have been so highly touted, but because he is a primary guard on a playoff successful team, he is highly regarded. And I like him, don't get me wrong, but it's not somebody I'm going to lose any sleep over missing out on. That's for sure, even though I do like him, right? Here we go. I hope we get Ayton, but he's not enough to move the needle towards competing for another ring. Well, no, we need Ayton. He's going to help. But we also need a backup big, a backup guard to help set everybody up into their offense. We didn't have no table setters off the bench unless Austin Reeves is actually going to come off the bench. Then if that happens, then we don't need another guard off the bench, right? We can start a 2-guard and then – but I wouldn't even mind getting somebody like Lonnie Walker who's out there as a backup guard. We don't need nothing too fancy, just somebody who gets the job done. Okay? So that's what the Lakers need. They need somebody to set the table for a Dalton Connect, to set the table for whoever comes off the bench, right? And then we'll go from there. And also, we don't know how our two-way contracts are going to look, how our draft picks are going to look, and how they're going to factor into the rotation, if any, right? So Theoro shows a lot of promise. We don't know how raw he is offensively. We all know that. just like Vando, you won't get a lot of PT, right? You won't get a lot of playing time if you can't put both sides of the floor together. Same thing with Dalton. So let's hope that Theoro can get the offensive side of the ball going, because defensively he seems to be more of a complete player. Dante Exum, you know what? Wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind Dante Exum. He had a very good year for the Mavericks last year as a backup guard. Sure. But Bagley's still out there. Horford is still out there. Sims from the Knicks isn't bad as a backup. I do agree with that. He is not bad as a backup as for right now, as far as right now goes, right? But Luka Garza, the latest acquisition there by the Boston Celtics. What about Nick Richards? Would you guys like Nick Richards as a backup? Because I would. Solid rebounder, can score inside. Solid rim protector. Nothing too fancy. Something like that. If we traded for that, he's only worth about 5.3 or something like that. As a backup, I wouldn't mind. But again, this is assuming we land Ayton. If we don't land Ayton, guys, and we end up with one of these like Bobo type starting for us, it is a failed offseason, and Rob Pelinka deserves to get super canned. I'm talking about he deserves to get shot out of a cannon out of Los Angeles if he cannot get Ayton. Because Ayton is falling right into his lap. I believe Luka has already recruited him since they have the same agent. And I believe he will be a Laker. But if that doesn't even happen, we are in deep crap. Deep crap. All right. Let's see who else is available here. There you go. Free agent Nickeil Alexander-Walker has agreed to a 4-year, $62 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. plus a player option and trade kicker. All right, so the Atlanta Hawks actually quietly having a very good offseason here. Very good offseason here. Very solid contract for him. And, Mikael Alexander-Walker, again, good player with playoff experience. They add that to their acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis, and everything they've done so far in this offseason. I'd give the Hawks a B+ for the offseason they had. They're at least trying to put a competitive roster around some of the younger players, around Trae Young, around their first overall pick from last year. They're trying. So I'll give them that for sure. The league is fun when Atlanta competes, right? Hayes will be a starter if we can't find anyone. I don't want to start the season playing small ball. I do not want Hayes to start. Hayes just doesn't have what it takes to be a starter in this league for us, right? He doesn't have it. We've seen it already. We've seen enough of a sample size. Half of a season is all I needed to see in the playoffs, and that's it. Just not consistent enough on that end of the floor. He's just not. No matter how we twist it. So, again, let's wait and see what the Lakers actually do. Again, it's going to have to start with it has to start with Ayton. If it doesn't, then we are in deep crap. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for me now. I'm going to wait probably till the nighttime to accumulate a couple more deals. Unless the Lakers make a deal, I will still be posting all the breaking news right on the community section. Guys, if you guys enjoyed this free agency video, we went over the 2-hour mark. We got to the 500 like point. Stay tuned because there might be another one coming tonight, depending on how many moves are done. And also if the Lakers actually do anything, right? Depending on all that. But we got a bulk of deals already right off the top. And I cannot wait to see what happens later on tonight and tomorrow in the days leading up to this continued free agency. So go Lakers. I still believe in us, but here's the problem. A lot of free agent big men are off the board, so now we have to get creative. Can the Lakers work a sign and trade to land a Steven Adams or a Cam Whitmore or both, preferably, to back us up and still get DeAndre Ayton? We'll figure it out. That's up to Rob, the agent, who's so good at salary cap management. Now's your time to show your pedigree, Rob. Get creative. Make it happen. Do whatever you got to do, but press the button and let's make it happen. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tapping in. This video was brought to you by Underdogs and Prize Picks. And make sure you guys tap in with promo code DTLF. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. For all things Lakers, NBA, and so much more. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go rest my vocal cords. I'll be back after these messages. All right. Stay tuned. Peace.